Assalamualaikum paring ngal kontong mobe dauda ani be watu watiso. Kontondro kolans na bismillah na programo min kasoro jang loko ni nyantem ben sita jamano civic education program kabaran Skype or radio and TV services. Yo aling albani malo Mustafa jame membe sirim program ko na nyantem ben. Yo coming dalta ka kinyame loko ni nyantem ben sita kamol sambanan kacha kula membe dending wala mol sula surtout kul minni alon ko be kan ya Gambia banko ka wala min keta je fo aketa karande ramoti mol minni alon ko ajarta pour ay ke kunendiro do programme ni wulta nyine kam pour nga ñoo kunendi nga ñoo karandi ngana ñoo korandi o kamala alfala ka taram fe loko ni nyantem ben sita folo be min kala be hakke dano kala bake fang lokun tambila nga mol lahit ko minala jang bari deto keta bake mane keta doli jarangol ning kombongol ning badi bunkol dunta nyola jang kol maneta bari wayatin na program o mannano be mol hakke dan la wala bake katum ñun min bebe siri nyang hajiti yollo mobe kala hajolo bula pour kana kaje ko bankola kulen sula suduni nata faham de rola karola civic education pour kana ka kacha mole wala kula roka malambe tentulambe yela mol fana hakke dan la wala be min kala se luntangol bula inin lamoy la ni jiberale ñoo kontong ni mo bade je inshallah sina dum kacha kun kono yo Abdul Karim ngawate la internet do struggle ka wala barba min kala sa folete kan Lamin Sonko Lamin inin bare mo kende ñino la sina folote kana jang be bismillah la inse buleni lamoy la ni jiberale ñoo kontong Lamin
ya subhanallahi minas shaitanir rajim bismillahir rahmanir rahim alhamdulillah rabbil alamin assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh alnimbara ala baraka walatna man audio ni jibe njunna kabri ya senye bar kunun nata try walatna bi say nan kabona biro to fam manjaan man loje nko en kanale ngana mabe nyim programme of feja aketanya ni sewo bata aketanya jusula batin tele Lamin Sonko bari falan Sonko moli wala lon regional chairman for KMC for United Democratic Party mbe mo be tentula mbal be jayla mbafula assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh
baraba ke falanga ketanye kontano de pour que so jang kacha kula mimbe dendi miyembe sulala nin ko mbo nyama budum Abdou Karim se fanam bulay ni mo le ñoo konton right Abdou Karim mama fe kam moy la ba mbari
ya anke mo le kay
ya okay bismillah
Sering Mas
assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh ntelam Abdou Karim Jammeh April 10 and 11 survivor nkontane bata pour ka mabe alla nyim programme kuma bato mi yalon ko domando wata be kala Gambian kolye nafa baleti biti lola inshallah ala baraka ba ngalbe konto
baraba ke Abdou Karim budum nday
ya mbal be kontona be jubera be kontona be luntangol fanan kontona falang mbal kontona be aljiala ani Abdou Karim nge la ko moy le bari mos so se so ila no ba ngata atele blu nga ko mbal be kontona kal jiajang an ala barka bake ale time momenta pour kana ali mole tarajang kanyin jura dal ni mealon ko akumayata bake Gambia la history kono na history na tarikol kono kole mponga si ka kachado manding ka mol hakili bulande ka mol hakili munando ala barka bake ale time mota ala schedule to benna colleagues fanan konto na Suleiman and Bamba ngaja drop tele and Mustafa barka bake wato wati ka time soto ka nyinkol be coordinate ka borim mol noma anina juber la alfana mel katara wato wati e ka nyin programme mo jube e katara e nintol katara janna ala barka bake
ene mbara wake ndey sol
assalamu alaikum ajaratu ndey jobate Mustafa Jamme Abdou Karim Jamme anen Lamin Sonko mbal bismillah na platform moto mbal tentula mbal jela pour ali wato minta pour kana mabe bi civic education wala bila kachau abe kumayala because even though lungoning at hambitale bari mbe karoning kono April 10 and 11 wole mu lummi yalon ko ay Gambiankol sunule because na dingol na baringol wole man sakunda ye fanu jamela wato kono tilimbali ya kuto so nkana wole jura bi nkana wole kacha ngalong na jubir lalu min kumayata because ni nyim programo je akata all the time na jubiral ni na ramulalem na almanke altelti intel desina jandrong enkatu diamulam fangoye so altelle kumayata so altel fanambal tentulambal jaila wato ni nata alkamabe alka programo nyim follow alka sea kumayata bake because nimma sea moja mata lon anun ni moja mama moy o imalon ana fabe to yala bake so alkara sea alkara pass nyo so that mobe si akalamuta ko membe kering kaminu kacha because o fanan kamul mako e bake le alla comment sol work kumayata bake because nal man comments ke bukalong fom kamin fo akumayata alfe o aman kumayal fe wati do nasi kambe wati do nsi wali nyoye bari wali o amanke pour ka badinya kuntuntema wali o wolem nimman ko faham nyola nkamin discourse na nimman agree andu wo buka bay mbete agree no la kuma kilina mbete ko jela nya kilina fo ngaje separately fo nga different positional ta bari ngata ning horomoni bunya adin tento so ngalon ko ne wulita jam bangu do ko le wulindi ala baraka
ene mbara wake sola kumata bamba ngamera tebe struggle kam fo asilata lamin na laba lamin sonko pra eje jangamera bamba be dunna be funtila de malo mine keda fama hanyi la bake bang bari mbal be tentula mbal je la wokan coming sol mo diam la ya fo ila diamo kono ni amoy kachaba kala ba fola molka moy mo killing buka keno ni ko holiye wokamala comments and contributions amukule de miyalonko akumata ya bak ni ajembe nyim fola mbakela molle benfe ni molle ka am ranyo fe wokamala be mol tentula bake mbe jeyla wokan nin kumbo nyama kacha ko mintin kol lafta min hakil mayala wala ka jibe wolong April 10 11 min keta wolong bari ninko April 10 11 mo jamali ya lonne ya moyle doli ya lonne min keta doli ya moyle min keta ka long anin ka moy so rin kumbo nyama mol ben fe bi studio kono min ya lonko wali ya moyle wali ya jele ya balule so bayri man ngol ka fa sokore kadi ya wolo fangol da kono ko ni mba folola min fangola min sem mako e kan kono to dia folo nin sinano ite kan Abdou Karim ite ya jele ya balule inata kana wala ya balu April 10 and 11 biti lola lafte en kono to dia mun karandirle benye akono kabirin kunu fo bi anin soma min yanda karana kono aketa nyaadile Abdou Karim
Baraka bake malum fal kam mele bambot.
Loud and clear.
I'm still struggling with internet.
Okay, well, clearly.
Then, okay, ala baraka bake. April 10 and 11, nsafanya min tari kolom Gambia kono mi halan ko a tari ko nyin ate tutu lano fo jenin dunia bekirla. Bayri ni ajibe malum fo tambe lawno la bam pour nga be explain no wala nga explain in details. Why ko mun kata je asiya tale. Why ni ajibe walungo kule kata mi halan ko Africa kono nsafo tembo la Gambia kono Gambia la history kono o kusi fa nene man bayni ni ajibe walum fa wala security el mi halon ko wala nyanta ndol kantala ke jonna namol e do ngodo ko ke jowol wala nata fenti walum yo tilimbal ya sifa ke mi halon ko tilimbal ya nyin tajire nya nyin Gambian kolte nyene no lala abadan ko jinem dunia bekirla especially Gambia student e walum nam Gambia karmunto dinol funtita ela nikuya kapare kela nikuya da tandi kula mi yalon ko wala ketela kafunyoma fulolla wala yalon ko na banko sidi fani tel wala tilimbal ya ye tajriya do alama tulanya yo nyapin kan musolo moti do yo tajriya le ya tilimbal ya fo abanta o kukulo kan e Gambia karamunto dindingol la o time o watola wala fintitana mpuru ka ela ni kuya da tandi ko mun kete la kaf nyoma fu lol hani bi man sakunda man simfata je ka je ko miliyake luwa nyanta tamala e kanya min ay tame kanyo nyama pour nyin kamala sama ko kusi fa kana ke Gambia kota walum ni ajube molla finto dalilo ketawlati bari finto nata mane nata ke masiboti mi yalon ko asembo warta bak wallahi walum ni ajibe ni Gambia jibe ka jele ko tafalo ko hani nyinde Gambia di tafalo kude tala be Gambia bari kabon to dindol findita lo walum fente bulo kono namanke la bukolleti anila kala anila anolu mun kaytolu yemul safika tandiko lafta dilingol la nin tonya mi yalon ko le ketan nak nyomal lafta oda malila walum mol pareta pour ko oda malik idi tembulu do ko tembulu muru ba tembulo kono pintita nan kan e be munkila ya kemol bari ni ajibe fana walum jenin kata folo kumo be folalde wayri bi mu kacca dungal alko nga kacca ku jamal bi je mi yalon ko nyanta kaf sila malam fo time o ben alawla le bang faten alawla jenin ka jam fo ben so
anni atara non time o tije mbela fela nyin because nyin cool laftale ay koy andung ni atar no jarata tolle fo tol fana nyanta folale pour ay ke mole lesinoti minni ba lesino nyin karanna banninga ba jala woto abe kumala ba gambe binale kanne ha anu tol fana mbela fela ye tol fana fo nin to min involved je lafta ya be fo ko bebe nyamen ay koy fer because saying ika fole ko ali bula idiam saying dol fana alimbula nge tolfo iba jala woto molbe karanna woto la sinin soma fo ila family le ba fole hakilo to say ka mol tolefo wo fana se keno silander round el mi alongo molbe hakilo to la ko koku naketa jang asen kan lumbinale mba fola mba sen kan na lumen wala tin kala fi pour record a straight ay tilling mi involved fo mol mo fala lo mo minni krasi bango laf bela fele tol beka fo koma balari nyama ya sata nyawo nyam par ni ya summarize wobe kumala bake mina murne kan Abdou Karim bari lamin ifanam bi janne iko wolum ko min kete iboto ku kala ma jele lamin sonko
ya mbota kala male katu wolu menketa April 10 11 wotumo Dipakunda petrol station membe barte sere kunda marse o mafa ntele kaje operate no I was the dealer so kabrin ko starta karambunto dinol nata sojarol nata enila kidolu ibe shooting ke kante kole nono this is a rubber bullet nonna otumo na supervisor ka fa ne modu sar wole konye ko he akonye misa sonko kai ko nam akonye ni light bullet la nyosu den kai ko dede nyeme nyun lolu kai ko student yi kana le na nyeme shoot with light bullet kai ko nyeme nyun lolu amut so wolto mbeje na boy do nata akonye misa sonko kai ko nam akonye ko la moto bondi jan this is not safe if I tara sirinja kai ko no but there's no problem akonye ko no it's not safe ila moto bondi ja nganna piko bo drive le nyama kata pag na so kono Joshua so kabrin moto pagjen tamata nan singola kamurnan also kabrin binanga nindi nol benta churches town and then boys all bota churches town mafang aning atondi fire service o membe je mafang la boys all tata jele attack nu iko because of fire service man le involved tanu kono so nteni wolbe nyola je mbedol kamla down nata mfutata na essence roto again ikonye ko dinningol nata janne bandiol fana ye dadun jele inata yen attack na pom attendant do be je na do kulale e ka fay ko fatu drame nunga atra wo kema tamunyang wo fana munun APRC la supporter la baleti mala positionolo in APRC bari wo fana be nun wolto so inate ako dinnol nyapita kanne yala kodo busabul bodi yalon sella procedure momenti ikonye ko anyanta kodo nyinjolal she has to pay the money because ye na protocol dol fana ta jele nyapita fengol dol kan yeta but so good ala wata nebo sol fana nata finti ye stop but ate kaw ya la kodo menta ikonyo ko sel konyo ko aba jolal so the next day ake fama fa kita ake mati tamunya because kabrin tebe nyunu jepang abe nun kumbola kabri ko ibe light bullet le use kan ka dinningol fa nga imagine musole ma fana ta be kumbola fonka fa ko yo bayli nga defa ni du nyeme nya use light bullet nte believe tan wala ko te hani la light bullet use la mfangol dingol kan nte believe tan wala nga mira nun amanke rubber bullet le nte fa ko wala fo no ko nye ko no is a light bullet e ka wala use tek so after kabri woketa sel ko anyanta ko do nyin jolal but kabra ke natan kan ayala balafa itan na ko nye ko ni kay ko do joda ba jolal barabe ko yalam bulle de that amount of money ntol betara no la position ya di kawojo wel nata fo ko wel tenga alata yam futa ko do nyiye ngallo sis nyinta so definitely April 10 11 abalafa warta ka to red cross la journalist e ka fo me Mustafa nyadi barolemba anim fa la close friend we alu nam moto mechanic le no kan nam moto le do kunye Basiru Baro adima bitaka no GTTI wolune yo fana fa definitely fo pa barole mba fo nyaadi wolune yo fana fa wo fana keta nyekuti me yalon ko hani kabi hakilo be o kanne aketa fo balti aketa bala fa balia baleti nana ma imagine ko na fangol bank Gambia dingol na fangol la security e be nyatili ne fangol dingol lale ani fangol bari dingolu ke bunki dole ke fa because of mo kilina interest kama definitely abala fa warta asuno warta nana ma miracle Gambia dingo be hanyila wala wallahi wala muntela believe into no bari kabri ngaje ayen ki jolete ayen balofa definitely
okay mbina la karandirol la karola le bamba inimbara ma imam mol fenge bamba imi hari ngaye ko ebisimla fo ba hanyire ne bankadum lamin sonko binya nyomi ngo fo ma hanyo la bamba malom fo e kam moy la bamba mas
anke moyle mbe silole kan mbe public place la wala nanta tam mute ay kala min sonko me ko nyomi ko mu nyaw nyam bari ko to le fanam mo sana wiate na te ba fala mun ko to le ti for over 3 decades now bring along Abdul Karim nimme ya nyatilingal la teng o mun dingolati Abdul Karim na la cool so da nyokan kabring April 10 and 11 for B birata da toki alhamdulillah naka nyomoy andong akitan na tema badi ya ti sai ngamanke sanaw ya ko da mati na la ku jamala so da nyokan bar anyway mbe mo la moy kanne Mustafa April 10 and 11 banan se fe jamala fono bar mbe la mor la moy kan anda mbe na biwa so tent lambe jayila bari itol lel kantol saware ndi jak mende fanan tentula bake ñin ken no mende dala mo suude de akoto batam tele mano mu nekata fa sa la ba because fam sol le okay maji biras man tele nga suude sol nga mira NPP sain amole ko sal kam million tanan la di jore so la pour yal backstage peinture ana hadisa al peinture le alte ñi ñala la be damal munu jawatal already Bela yo sol be tel la be jay la parak
ni baraba ke bamba so yalon jang kachalom anin discussion bankuku kachalom bari molela contondrol kele ndey jankañ nimin lafta kacha sifa momo fenyaje ko esobita ko anyanta nyinin galale maybe ni Abdou Karim nyinin ka asema ko no sol ite fana because kujamala bi jammi alon lafta ke long just to avoid a repetition of asifa ninga nyongo ninga sute ko abenale nse banku dingol fahamde to educate them ko nyin nene ketanu janne so let's try ngin avoid pura nene kana kejang because aka banko sendi ko male maybe another 5 years or 4 or so wala min siata wodi so pour kamol kunindala ngamira akumada bakele yo Abdou Karim media mo commencé ya fo ko ilafta ya befo ba mbela fela ya befo aning abalari nyame malam fo sol you have something you want to ask on day
After Ming Lafala Jedrong is like I was watching Dr. Cisse and Dr. Baba Galle Jallo. I think Harvard ye invite nung on this peacekeeping mira aning Kofi Annan la history because Dr. Cisse mimunun chairman TRRC I think he was a personal assistant to Dr. Kofi Annan. So Galia invite nung so he was given a historic analysis of Kofi Annan la contribution to peacekeeping and negotiation. So I ko during April 10 and 11, Galbenung United Nations meeting nola, and Yaya Jammeh was there. Yaya Jammeh, I think, was the only person me along. He had a telephone in front of him, and he was communicating. So Modoya Faeko, because there is a situation in the Gambia, so Jammeh was monitoring, the April 10 and 11. So Kabringa will mention wrong, it clicks to me ko mol coming alleged nung Yaya Jamele order nyindi purgali suit. Guy probably that is, a highly, very likely possibility. Because neither the United Nations, he has the interest to order a telephone call. Me alonko, he could be communicating directly to Gambians on the ground when that situation was happening. Therefore, he must have been fully in command of whatever was happening on the ground. He must have been given, instructions. So, on lafta wale share lanundro.
Okay, Abdou Karim.
Yeah, kay man din kol kam fole kumo ne dingo biabe falale inshallah.
Lafta wala kumo ne dingo please.
Exactly. Well, coming lota damin num al walum bir mol findita na wode tata GTT aile mol lota jel to follow pour ka assemble je kamach ya fo banjul as my brother ya fanyaming komi walum ya jamme man tara banko kan afunti tale yalon ke jotele made but mol mo jama malon ke jote wa abuka haji birin alon ko kirimba so be kala alon ko student bo yemum plani wa to bayla be kelale nata los afinti tata ba banko bula as he rightly say nga ode fa United Nations of family dolo so or whatsoever dol ka be Cuba I don't know so aya jela ko situation o nyin abe kala nyamin student oli plan nyamin ate bayla wala yake abort afinti ta banko kan
Amir Abdul Karim is frozen. Ala internet.
Internet is struggling with internet. Okay, Lamin, it is now. It's a attendant no Abdul Karim ya londe dame. Come ya mera bitilo. Mun karandir le bekering. Ni muna sake karandiroti molie mol minni ya lonko. Imambo nyin kalama. munam karandiro ti ko kon
ya karandiro men sikeno je doron wole nyinti ko mol nyanta sute lale ya long UDP ye lodula menta Gambia kuoto katu naliye mo soto dictatorship mensa nyatili no studentola because jamaye nyine foko atele order di ka faye ko ka foye ko ali nyunu fa wotumo nali amira Ibrahima Yabo ntol ka fa no professor wotumo abedo ko la no gamtel le fo gamsel according to moli men fo ko lat na fa problem o soto fo ya fana mutal numba final atata exile in UK so iba jelale ko woto molu sometime ninga mira nim molu kalo karandiro men nyanta kala je fondin ke la karola wala nyinti ko ni yaji be membe keri men sikido boni no fondin ke kan kawol bunke fa mot mon to menu ya lon kon tolle ya jame opposition ndu ntolla April 14 kabrimbe findila be nga yilla sa yalema ninga o responsibility tano man na family je mam fenje nko Gambia le jarta nye sa yala woto bi ning ala yake nga fen achieve fo Gambian kolu e bala man fa e man sila e man malu fondin ke mere menu ya lon ko lemo ya jame fulawti e bebe la hajo la e bebe la kodinyino la ntol nganna hajo tuje nganna kodinyo tuje nganna business o tuje nko ka Gambia ke dula nyon tawti ning ala e mako fo bi ntol yelo mol tamata wala kan ke president bari munen nakuyandi ka Gambia ke dula nyon tawti ama nyatilin wasilo le kan woto karandiro membe je woto Gambian kolu nyanta mo kendolu lonnale mennu lafta Gambia la anin ka Gambia ke dula nyon tawti bara jiben be alajibe fo nafiki yalen bang fo hasidi yalen bang fo munen malo altol yamira fondinke jumale be nyimbanko kanula kantol si fondinke jumale be Gambia kanula kantol si je nimbi kana foko alinga okebal fonyondi fondinke olena fokunun kabrin kesobe keri be molu fale be molu soronna e be molu lipala kunun fondinke te nun Gambia kunun fondinke te nun Gambia bar bilem fondinke kendol be soto la bar kunun fondinke kenete nun Gambia keba kendol men wulita ye la life sacrifice banko jarte ye fola na fulola banko jarte ko bela bi nim fondinke ol kalo ka fo alinga ol jenkendi ntol ngabula fondinke ol noma anyom bitire al nana maji anyon jamfa kuma fo anyon mira bali annamana ja kamunta ko alnyina tale ntol ngamen taki kunu akamunta ko Gambian ko lafta fola le kontol ngamen taki kunu tol nyina tawolal nun tol sim fambalundi nole sim fambalundi nola mansula mansa kunda do kula wala na hani kabi mbem fambalundi kam mansula mansa kunda do kula nimme ma fonye no al nimbara la baraka dukare nalbe diamu lafana al diamo nyinyandi especially ni amoy ka fuko politician be kili politician be kilim banko jarta jumale ni ola bi politician menu ka fo politician be kili way ni moy ku kendo baraye ni ma fay no ni mbare ma tentu no ma jay kana kamfani wo karandiro lebe je laftale ko fondin ki ol yewole karam kol kono yajibe menu lafta bankola ani menu lafta bankola kairola ani menu be la jiboye e nyanta wol bola nyotele lafta dal wo karandiro fondin ki ol yewoto lombaki
Abdou Karim Minekata
Yo, internet, well, I'm still struggling with the internet. Why? I think I'm back again. It's clear. I'll come well.
yes gamala klali ha
Okay. Coming up, I'll start naming a lot of daming. I'll assemble the GTT island Purka March on start J. Then from there, Katafo VP la office because Walum Vice President office. Then Vice President Esetinja said because here Yamaman Tarabankoka. Mol assemble the GTT less than some minutes. I'm sorry for the English language. I'm a meba.
you can speak any language come better
Soja rol natana. Okay, problem da. Soja rol nate futata e komoli al janjang. Oi, janjang purumu al janjang akamene ke jang. So if ye al janjang ya fumas ke la batinol bon amol lipa al janjang. So de motara loring amang tuske amang kuke amang silo bare. Just small loring GTT ay le kono aninga lo denne wala silo be dami. Amma mol lo mano fanka on that very day emam motol balila tanin na so ina ta biri yo kerek kamol kastat kamol lipa aljanjang mol fana balo jani berol chika mol bung so biri yaje mol tol overcome itol tata inate mod tata model kumandinan kote if I could remember fully droko kula o saba wal murunta tan back again birol nata wal fana param inata nyabi mol kan o konin nata commencé wala nyam ka janjang mol findita ibe mol bunna nata tiago sol use then li parole keta tiaga sol so at the end biraje mol ikutulale inata commencé ka keso fay wa biru before keso e fay mol la foro to idum believe sa ko wala fana keta Aissatou Njie said it vice president koto ni wole Yaya Jammeh call akay ko sainde ñuliam bulo falede sain tentim fam prisoner le break anin selol o bandil lati kan criminal ol sai fele be banko be malaka so coming as his own word ateka ala alam mole mi alam ko kuma dima bu ko yo ay kuma mo use je walum molla foro to walum ka akoyle ko alñin take care of these bastards sorry for the language I will avoid but I ordered Aissatou Njie fana ordered because on that very day irum kirim baso keta mol tanin nata boro keta be mol bayndika be mol lipala tiaga sol be tila so ndol fana ka start kam fango defend but ntata up to a stage Dipakunda if I could remember fully Dipakunda saim baka ugara so be dami odula exactly Babukar Jatale nata je but before Babukar Jatale na alifa salal follow fintita mol kanin CDS ko mol yemune keta ngoy ko well ndol fintital pour ka march pass ke from GTTI kata vice president office oto kan complain o tandala je ko nyine ketan na colleagues wala idum still tilingon in tonya man tami la ko aman so kunda nyinin kale hani bi kuma mo foje kuma ke je so mol tata mbente wodulal to before nga maju fo kuma so jarol nata yi kamol lipa kamol tear gas so wol nata mol advice ko mol ko demonstration o buka keteng because albetam bo min tasam kotti nyatal nalbe demonstration kala ka match a peaceful demonstration on aleta so ning almo o sotono alse so ko naleta ali fanyo because saying kotti nyatal altem demonstration o kenala kotek woli mol advice yo fo mol be happy taji dol kabulo ko so dol kala vile ci kala fa wode to mbije woli advice o di mol la fo mol ya start ka janjang pour ka sey bije dorong Babukar Jara fintita nan anin so yar kili birate futata boy sol ro sakan ko so time mol balu kandire ne because a taranga news sotol ko kibaro soto ko tarmuto din do bunne yo fa to birate futata mol kay ko Babukar Jara fela tele odadi dol ro sakan pour ka lipa o alnga fa wol bele ka to biye nte fana mbe mol le kono mili halan ko nga defen ko no alnga al lo follow alnga na time ta alnga nyinin ka muni kat jamala odadi so anata explain mo le jele to ko atema odadi sojar la pura ke so fay eta tel sojar man ke so fay so boyo do biye one of the student woko mo le ko para le bundiro then biye ako mo le ko okay sai alngata PIU because ndema odadi ngi nyinin ka jamala odadi pam nga nte nim modol biye nga nyobulo mo tole nyama ka export because still student will be why be comforting because of jamaba mutako atala odadi nga nyobulo mo tole nyama bitaka ka defend tata fo mfutara gamtel is it gamsel I believe gamsel mfutara ye atarantela one of my brother he is my relative ate dokole babul mun jam fada so mfutara gamtel lo fen ko la ko lipa ndongol ka ko no kana mo tinyaro bantala al ngasto al ngata nye mo lead ngata nga paral nyinin ka jama la bundiro na tata wala nyama bring kana for the PIU all drive lorry be matuka because I believe go time order parcel for kapare all lorry ni la kidol ya be ya fandi tep lorry be mol batuka all taran kana for je wato minna so birin ngaji ndongol rosta no freno kan no badi ko pour kalipa ndega mofla ngamul ndimule nyobulo mutangol bulo choki nyobala sonte rosta je pour kata kana badi o nyinka makoy because ngajele mo rosta kam pour ka fay edum mote badi o jela ko ya ko ya tuye dum rosta wal nyama pour ko muta ko bandi mol bul den nata mo loli ngodo ko ta ngo fay ntaran kana futa gal lawato min kana futa paral lawato min nan dasite la safo ndebe groupe min ko because man tara koma kana futa lawato min nan safo dasite la mini mital fula o sabanyo ya kuma so le nyam e so fay tindi dorong ka fay rek camera ko ino rebeloli wala face wala inyon soja roli wala face pour kale banko defend mol bung so bire buntro start nde bije because biri ngai mbadi ngo woni mol bulu nga tambindile kay den let's go ngata ba bire bundro start nga ton le ko de nga cha namuru ngata because ñu lekki dol fay be mol fa kan sa ngo pus ñaato la ñamante ton on ton de ñaam wala ñaam rek before nga move rek keso ente fana ma wol biri keso ma nalia efi ko remem nalia hakil tu paral ni tambite la dula do mandi ka gota dinko la soto ji o gota dinko ko no brin keso ente ma ante ko tawla then mbije ndekay mom I think I was off on that day and at that minute or 5 or 10 minutes or maybe less than that was keso agar tiada ay mum ma buka moy nak ya moy momo ya moy ko paw inshallah moma ay mi ma buka moy den te brim boy to la mbije fameta red cross volunteer do be he is now immigration officer be mol ma ko kan e dundi ambulance sol kono anin ambulance do kula ani red cross volunteer be mol ma ko kan killing e dundi ambulance sol kono ani oda private vehicle sol because dol bi yol volunteer dale ko e fa me fay tolu mol ci kala le sam luckily ndebe duma birim siro batante la wilta wona da fo be tambi ka en jedin ko kon rek e jolon na en ci ay mbonde bray mbonde rek private driver do lot wala moto kono fari yelo la tep walum Gambia tiñaro ketale e wala yelo bonte Gambia walum Gambia kata sate dole dai wala so wala moto be fari kono fari yelo la tep ko findi tawle nyama ka ben ci kala pour kan dundal moto ko ne ki do lo fanka tay mune kada ko mbasa kay ni ma murela moto ko mbe fala ko alim fa abulo lendi so bo nyin ero so fana kay o moto ko bo li fala ko pende murat pro volunteer ala den ko tandi so luckily ambulance be tambi kan ambulance driver nga woye jele I think that was the time ambulance way Omar Baro pick from Red Cross Abunda or ambulance be tambi kan so maybe yeoleje man na nyimma driver nyimma na fana bun kote so lenti ci ko nyamen dun ko to ko nen sam but a checkpoint of interest silo kan ngamu remember no because irumbe silo kan is like on and off katale ngana amu remember checkpoint fulas checkpoint saba o nani nyondala if I could remember fully will be finketa will be ke londi wotole ke threatening so but wol ka vale ko is a dead body because nte man tram fankala ma time a dead body wala den di ko fa bonda ka wulendi that Alaji Cisse is a very generous person wala ngay mo jama bale ma koy plus that driver so wole lente ma koy yen sam ko lokano ina tante admit wala nyam mije from 3 months I believe because April May June July lay release from the hospital. So the incident itself, that very day, I'm not remember no at the moment in the kata na in the kalamu. Alung lumbari di Gambia.
Akum bar Babukar kanata nyaadile iman mena nema imate bunno nyaadile bayri ate be mol kono fate man kuma foye pour ka fo alkana bundiroke o jekere nyaadile.
Hello?
Ko Babukar Jata mi alon ko alna bitakan aketa no nyaadile fo ate man kuma fo no mole ka foye ko alkana bundiroke ani wo sifal bayri ate be alfe jele.
Babukar Jata de ntefa nsemi fono nte malang cause if I could remember bring ngam mo flow bulo dim nyobulu nte move ta kan ma kana brother nyima koy still mba jive kan why bring kana futa indula bring kana futa gal I don't know yalam itol da malo yikido lo ne enyola kamay so faye lale bang pa borta la tata ma bodula to bang man na ti ko tek yente bun dam fangto bring ñu mano inte bondi penko ko na to dum fang din ko kon inte nga mo dandan de jelaring o tay mo ngamu remember no mo nani wol be uniform wul koy male be bala ko be wul ta yela len pour cur mbol jibe kan ne woli fo sabo la do fo sumu yata yetta o wala o kenya fam sometimes akini night me yalde definitely
It's a trauma. Yeah. I can imagine.
And the worst part of it, bring yem bondi din ko fana kona again. Yem paramilitary mo fala fasabo. Wal nata long kuntole. Cause what time na school bago ben ko. It is student ol muti ben ko yes. Ela uniform wale. Nko ya fele. Ibe school jamalto nga foy. So do nata nin ko mala en dam. And that time I was bleeding. Yaje so ma do nata ko nya ajibe. Ela time always 3 months ibe sila. Ita school. Nko ni malla brodal dal to kala so do nata ko mala en dam. O fula njom biro ka ben dam fula ma jele. So ngambulo le fay mo si ma bendu. Sa fu ngasi ngole dujung si mbulo na kale. Then do nata we je bo ke kan do nata ko stop. Utum formula ke balti ko fonde formula sini do I don't know. But biro ko stop ya stop all. Yes, I could remember that one also on that very. But Babukar yara kete nyami wode anyway into fono la moy. It's possible I lale or ani nyoje la signal okay or maybe I spare I don't know but kete nyami wode ala da male alo. I believe I expect like so. And if I spare I believe.
Yeah, Abdul Karim, Iba explained Kanko, yeah, they suit you, and I'm sure ko time ole me yalonko alma expect no how a feeling of it because for the first time Gambia history kono ibe dindingol sutla karambunta dindingol sutla ntol manwo even hani ku ko isamba sanyan time it was people sitting around but ibuka mo ko student or ni la uniform or bago be koma ibe sutla warabe lipala o experience so it feel tanyadile because of course ni wulita wodin kono and then Molye Chika, of course maybe there is still lack of clarity, but how do you feel about it?
Internet. Can you repeat it again, please?
Yes, I think it's the internet. Ngafoleko if feel tanyadi le katu nyinem first time ti Gambia la history kono Gambia la tariko kono ibe school dindi karamunto ta dindi ngoli ibe kido ibe bunna kidola mol me yalon ko uniform o be bala bago be bala karamunto bago be bulu ikata ika kido ike sot William the first time it ya feel nya deal o time o to see your own government, your own military people killing you, because that's what it's about. Internet, I think.
From his narrative, Niba Lamoy kang abalafa warta baki. And it gets you emotional as a human being. Ka Abdul Karim Lamoy ay odil ming recount. It's unbelievable because Nia Jube at the time is like, I think I've just finished my bachelor's exams. So I was Secretary General of the Gambia Student Union. So, but because I joined the police, so I feel my service was conflicting. So Nata resigned. I bring resigned, I think, Wombato Silla, Fakru Silla, Lemnum President, I was the Secretary General. Nata resigned, I think it was Fode Samate or someone that took over. Then after all, Nata hand over to Umar Diouf Labaj. So Umar Diouf Labaj, incident in Keta will la time. Bari Babukar Jada coming for it happened to him because stories sold mufulality. Dol for because kabring anata in uniform, student only kind of hold hostage. Doliala na fota eka machindi. So he had to go up through the PIU ngamira wole CFJ. I disappeared as student from the PIU headquarters in Kanifing. So Dolkafo, because students solely are treated no Nyaming as the head of the army, wole army soul provoke in Ataye suit, but who is just one of the anecdotes of April 10 and 11 stories all. Dolka for PIU fa dolka for paramilitary fa because near Jube at the time it be a blue uniform only don't know. So Latin shortly after April 10 and 11 paral nate la uniform all bondi inate separate. So itelka dark blue dung sign. So wato state guard all and in paral be the same uniform barila berel fatata. Because state guard all ka green berets holdung and will see fal. So jama ya believe ko mulka for a paral army. But he kabrinye ila in Kwesol ke. I think there was this Bach Balde, he was the army commandant in Kudang. So anung military jamali la account di kesol ila soldaro la kesol porque account. But Jamal Bije admit obviously some of the bullets were missing. So wo indicator ko sutinyin mainly akita from the army. Hani parallel kido fight that came later. But army solely kidi fayo kumase from the narrative because Jama is like for logic and reasoning will follow le. So I do understand ko paral accused nung wole wo sungutundingo rape at the stadium, Independence Stadium. So ibuka minuka ke jama because I had one experience when I was there. That was during the presidential election watu sungkutudo nata ko garia rape para boy soliare. So nkaminu ke nka parade ke so sungutoning or victimoning abina kagal identify, which for me later not I realized it was a bit intimidating because ye soldado ye paral belundi kill nim soul then ye this innocent citizen nati me along is a victim. Yeah, finding kill be jube identify me rape. Obviously at that time I be panic like the hanila. So because namang identification or namang perpetrator ning identify, it would be difficult. Because nyanda min kila nung like nga gahel dundi maybe ate dung bunkono ngafo gal ali tambi through the window so that asi jeno asafu carry lem asapoen atara wo maje. But at the time na hakilo mangudina, so we didn't see that. So probably wole atina imang paranying identify ka for this is the victim because that was the procedure. Ika parade like yafo na carrying identify. So that would be very difficult. So nima mo fanang identify, it would be difficult for you prosecute or for even in discipline. But you can isa for these were the two people that were on duty at this place, or X and Y was there. Paripurka wonaro to one particular person nyinumani ibuka just ulia for carry them. So wo fanang contribute to jele. But I think abe abalafa warata, to be quite honest, abalafa warata.
Bamba
mbe Suleiman Tentula mba jeyila bari alon comme Abdou Karim ye même fodron Gambia nolu ndolman karangono hani sai kato nimme ye mira mune keta April karo kono sa dati kabiri March karo tili sai la nyin ko fon start March karo tili sai 2000 Ibrahima Bari birkama karamundo dinde wala me ya lonko ko abe birkama school le to anala teacher Mr. Paul Mantara diary so ko fo Mr. Paul ya accuse le ko ya banen ne ba Mr. Paul kai finte class ko na mansong atata fire service ol kumandi fire service ol nata ya forceto findinde imanda wala ya sama fire service station oto ka bute ka tocho ka cemento bonga kan cementi jime ya lon ka be jio kono ka o jio bonga kan kana o cementi jota ka dunga da kono ka dia ko ya force price cemento nyi ming cementi jio ming e ko Ibrahima ni o bala di molemu atarte buluje bira sayta so kono fano keta aketa furewoti ya ine student kamfa and obviously ning atara a responsible government lam moja mala nene amo ika mo tocho ka min cement ni edi no samba pour ka discipline jama ngam mellong Suleiman mo ticaletin tolbe fala hana ticante nya alfalem ya lon ko kuluro men ka ke sol kono maybe ke bal sa fo tajo jana wara monkey dance ke jana wara fonkol ke jana o sifal me alon ko ate dindo maybe abe physical fitness dilala bara sa silandi bare ate dindo nyin torala in a way that asala health nyin affect mo be alon ko cemento nim ko nyama ka jala ni mo kono cementi what do you expect? You expect the person to die? Obviously nim man sakundale me alon ko is it cares about the life of the people. Wo fire service officers will instantly
ngamra incoming calls.
Bambala Fenko Haktale, but back to Abdul Karim and maybe
Ngajel ko network o nyin tatale. Inanta fire service nyim bele clearly ya be arrest. Because what they did, number one, is a violation of the codes of the fire service. It's a violation of the codes of the police. It's a violation of human rights. It's a violation of the dignity of a Gambia as a nation. Bari muneketa nafikiya, mulia fo, kilimbalia, bataraya me alonko ngalong Gambia kabiri chuk, wole tamata je. Kako kisi nyaw kese mambo jabato. Ila nyaton koli e singolo akang e man la fe kuye findije because as a possible no it on la fangoli nyun order pour Ibrahima Bari bute. Karamuda dinul be ko diamu kan drong inata binta fanan na case la Gambia Stadium. E ko fota na programme la jebang the same uniform tiol. Ndabale mo mo tola uniform tiol fo ka bor keso memmi wala dinne bu kela kurto kono marano ba. Wol fanan dara nyapo dinno kanje kanya fa kan kanyofu wala ka fea. Karamuda dinul ya feel ko this is beyond. Exactly. 14 years. Ka rape. And on the age. Wafana mansakunda no Gambia ntolo billahi nyinantina molu kanyin kolea membefo anana te bola Gambia kolea anana te bola Gambia kolea alina kumo alala boy
nyanda me understand when we talking about this
Suleiman Gambia bere muda alimane o aticha o apolitisa mbele nyanta nyoela mansata la nga tubi Gambia be too.
Yalong
Nimma
lafta
fembe
min
la
fula
ko because
wala
Gambia
ñendi ko
ndolga fil ko ngani kelo men beke ndolga fil ko nyanta falindiro soto nolale nyanta falindiro soto nolale pour que
lafta min
behind
fula drong comme nembe ñing kumo sifa fola ñanta na emotional set la aside le because we discussing some very crucial and important issues at hand. So nyantela red causes all jubela, nyantana system all jubela, and then sina attitudal for. Okay, you have mentioned ko tumando maybe ila kebale or da purka Ibrahim Tocho. But if you look at it, jama ku kake miya lonko uniform tiol o fani tiol ka kuol ke jini official asatara ikebal ma kalamuta. But the problem
Suleiman, I disagree with you. No, Suleiman, wait.
No, let me finish.
No, let me land. That's a for fun. Because men keta Ibrahim Bari la case to. Ibrahim Bari la case started for autopsy reports in Bay.
What coming for what I'm trying to say, it for maybe iko tumando ila diamo, iko tumando maybe ila kebal fang le ye oda nyindila. But Ibrahim wo abenung foster school and undenga teaching ke foster school. So at the time, Foster was headmaster me along private school them. Adeka kodol colleague and then abuka teacher jo jama. So teacher sometimes ika straggle buka sonna karandirola. And on niman karandiro ke student already yela school fees jo yeho kodo mismanage wolfanan kana ika rebelliously. So sometimes ika class will disrupt. So Jamal Bije Miyalonko is like those truant students will minukataraje. So wol puruke discipline wonya is difficult. Is a teacher from Bute no class or they can assault you. You have those type of students there. And on jama menuka teaching kejni wol mu foreign at soleti. Serelonian on solem. So wol Fostella school was opposite fire service ning. So ntena assumption probably teaching asilatale atata will report fire service all who were on duty nata somebody ya torture. They should not have in the first place. Wo amanke police or fire service matati wo internal school discipline niya je ko mama na no isa senno home ya suspend ye cool manage mo wonya bari manya na police will involved. So let me finish. I listen to you so you could also listen to me to finish. So if I make sense or don't make sense, you can agree. So police will can bring yewo torture, ye autopsy ke. Inyanda min kelano wole mu kanyinu arrest, ke suspend ke arrest, ke charge. Yes, student will involve because student will were organizing through ila union heads representative ka IG will meet and even ka state house ka discuss. Any vice president will meet. But all the time, meeting also they give them false hope. You understand? So IG at the time, even though he was trying to play, with the students' intelligence, anyanda minkelano welemko ka during a security meeting so every Wednesday and Monday and Thursdays, anyanda vice president and president of brief lako, these people, they are really trying very hard because they are compliant. Ni nata ni kanyol mit andong ngaminu agrigal ka wolefo. Baring telka time mindi lambuka will fulfill and we are not fulfilling our commitment to them. So to avoid igalia fundi on the demonstration, nyante inform lako, this is what we are doing and these are the steps and the evidence are here. But that was not provided to the students' government. And student leadership will fund and they have to report to Ilamul.
To the students, yeah.
You understand? So niman taje the students will feel like ila hateful government ye sanne. Some of them, ye bribe le ulatina ibuka cool tamandi nyanda tamandi. So you see, there was a conflict between the
Okay, thank you, Siga. Siga, I think I'll encourage you to send some comments and contributions. Thank you for the comment.
Siga has been somebody who has been really, who got me into the April 10 activities because she's been really leading the fight, the support, to making sure that these issues are up there, they're out there. And that has been really an inspiration. And I'm happy that even though she couldn't join us, she's sending messages here.
Thank
But
you,
what I want to say also is that,
Okay.
I mean,
Excuse
back
me.
to
Before you
both,
finish, you
both,
remind me about Tiga. I have something very, very important to say about
yes,
their group.
yes, Abdul, go ahead, yes.
Please, don't forget. You remind me about it.
Yes, okay. Because what I wanted to say here is that, I mean, Suleiman is explaining about Fokang, okay, mengo menkita the structures and everything. Scientific and kabinga Abrikarim Lamoy, of course, Falang Fanaya Tafo and Suleiman. I am looking into the brutality of the police and the fire service. I'm looking at people who's supposed to be caring and taking care of our security, and we should feel safe under their arms and under their hands. Nimol Wolenata became the brutality we feel. I mean, African, you will explain how, as a former student at that period, Molmen Nyantetela Nyanto ke tanka Wolenata kakete bulu, massy body.
Ni ajibe abala fawarta bake because ela city fani tel mi yalon ko ike jola namola pour isela banko ni banko dingol tank woli na lo ye kido ta ka malal kan kal bun kal fa sako dindingol mi yalon ko le ela sama alfalti abala fawarta bakele ninga ko mira mbuka dandula bulande no bari ni ajibe fana mi o cause mi ya o sababu wala system mum ba kono no we were under a very, very brutal and a very wicked person. Very, very, sorry for the language. Me mole koto mi yalon ko mo tajiri balemati. Ketamin na man se akoto may mole mi yalon ko la tajirente ya sembo wata ba. Because ni ajibe abalo man fa karamuto dindingoli. Abalo man fa kebali. Abalo man fa dindingoli. Abalo man fa musoli. Abalo man fa chawli. Ni aji ngo ko. Ntolo ko kola. Mine na take. Ujama baye keta. Kebali mindi ube jaro la janne. Keba kotol akol mbuwale wala atinan ko abalo man fa kebali musi keba kotol yewli keba kotol so irin aya kuma si woto a student ol fa kuma mboje akosai wa bantal asala kol kenola diata nyami so o time olum yaya jamme gambe no la kitso ka je ko min diata ya ba kelal because akakele aya kele kuma mboje so min diata ba kelal gambian kol fana ya bula je o nyama.
Yeah, just to add on.
E jonna namol wol fana nata ibula fi continue ta wata jirente ya kon bon ya jibe walum wala fa wartale de ya fa nyama bala fa warta bakele bar dictatorship da malik sewo sekelo da malik ko especially ya jamala ta jirente ya.
In fact, yeah, to add on what you're saying about the system, I was driving to that position. Nika co-examine, you need to understand its historic, background.
Background, yeah.
So jele ka understand because kabring jamme nata jamme ay amining empowerle. I amining empower I polisol kind of renegade to a very minimal job. Anung paral fanang yesembo la for they made them to become more brutal. Mia lonko they can only disperse crowd. Paral fundida dawoda mol kijo kafarale because ikaliparo ke ikatilimbali yake. That was what the para was nurtured for him, so that he can control, the crowd. So jama ni solderol nata e cool ke ika be pus paral like because paral like ke itol tinyata wala. But inten nyanta lafta min folano ka bring wo tilimbali yake da police nyaton call nying inyanta ko tamandila nung inyanta tamandila nyameng. But if you look at the time, police cable at the Wawato, they wouldn't want to do anything Mia Lonko would uphold the rule of law or justice because isilata ko niye woke wobe yaya jamme la about annoyed. And once he's annoyed, they would lose their jobs. So they wouldn't do anything me alonko would fester jamme at the time. So walatina ibuka will okay. And near Jube, a day after April 10 and 11, Ibunjai, he was the officer commanding police garage. I think he was at for Radio Sidlembam for FM radio, and then they were talking about kastrenol blame andunka parents will blame kafoko parents will imela dingol kulu wolati na fundita yefa all the blame was heaped on the students, and on these were public figures. So they were doing that to please Jamme exonerate and Lunka system exonerate.
Okay, so
that
because min keta ha nyimmu fenne de mi alon
bala domande intel after personal may explain police will blame no, but what actually happened yalo fonga ko nyin jube holistically nga understand mune keta because bring student only preso lama sakunda kan Suleiman let me land bring student only preso lama sakunda kan Ibrahima Bari la body ni ya sambala for autopsy. The autopsy report kele. Your body autopsy report bira findi tanai ko Ibrahima Bari died of natural causes. Can you imagine? Ndola health officials all they were complacent. Left jail emphasize.
Yeah,
Military they want to rule. Yeah, they want to rule with an iron fist. But
I think that's an important point somebody is making here.
Okay.
When the health
yeah, ndolo institutional one dictatorship ning empower.
Okay, but bear with me here. Bear with me. Yalonga aka empower dalila la kati na molka system o empower me yalongo is a corrupt system. Dalilo la bije. So what dalilo nimma wo establish purunga wo long puka eradicate abe koleala la because mol mang londo le so da wala na ibika hanyi katonyafo. Mol silata ke la palaso lose wala yatine bika hanyi katonyafo. Minka was up the root cause of that. After one learner to establish that kamol educate wala because no one is going to be the same. Nim mol silata puri ibe lose la position la. Then system mo mean for ibe wala kala.
Yeah, and they certainly before you, let me just come quick and respond to Mustafa. Yalong minikita at the time, if near Jube after 1994 coup d'etat I think this October for October ning Baronyol and others Yeminufa Kabring wol nyinda he set an example. If you follow the TRRC Galia Fole Sananyol ye capture live ye samba bakau ye londi ye tilimbalia fa oda soldarol nyala and inata information on mindi mola there was a suit out and fata bari wol fa bari ke fandi fed momam faje momam barama yalo logically when you listen to that ekaloneko the story but that was what we were given on our public media radio and television service holder. So Soldero Inata will set ko if you stand against this system you are going to be killed like a chicken. So Inate subdue jail and police head soul under Yaya Jamme, you got about 12 IGPs, and on Jawara 30 years of service, you only got about 7 IGPs. So Wolia Yitandiko, if you are serving on the Jamme, you have to respond to his demands or get silence or pretend nothing has happened. Bambaya Fujang, help Yalonko Ibrahim Manfa out of natural death. But they cannot give that correct autopsy because if Piata Koniake, either Yaya be Sambala mile to a tuje, because he would just order you to go to prison. You don't even have to go to court, multi-sentence. Or Jongula Sol Defuntila Yefa. So that was what was happening. So andung minu nyante la doko kela nyama imang alaje imang froya.
Precisely. That's my point.
Yeah, imang sila alanya andung
soldier role, paramilitary, police role, doctor role, fire sab nyimol be manke ko itol bije pour banku dingole itol bije.
No, they were there for themselves.
Yes,
they were there for themselves.
And neaje Sol, wala me April 10, 11. malam mine nyanda karan kala mole karandiro lunchi wara janga mine nyanda kala mole karandiro
A similar one is the Faraba issue. A
yes,
similar one is the Faraba
exactly. Can
issue.
you replicate? It's still happening.
It happened in Faraba after how many years? On the Baro. Yalong Barola Wato Niaje woman ke come like April 10 and 11 because people were out and talking and social media access to. And at the time, April 10 and 11, social media man warawunya, and people were not actively talking about it. But Kabrin Faraba case Nyinketa, everybody came out and people demanded. Wulatina IGP Kinte resigned.
What was the outcome? After Mineketa? After
IGP Kinte resigned because people were calling for the heads to roll, either the IGP and then the Minister of Interior at the time. So Kabrin Kinte resigned as the IG in other Minister Nying Spire. So Kabrin Wobota ye wo soldier role paral ye kitin ye samba code, but shortly after in nata eko baroko wala malong victimola family nata ko ye yam fema. If I don't know if you remember that, and then wofanang nata ke diamoti on the social media wukumo fataje. But if people had not reacted towards that, if we will soldier role fan ebe paral fan freely.
Okay,
which means for he will minufa their lives went in vain. Thank you, Nde.
Yeah, thank you, Suleiman. I think the point that Bamba brought in with the doctors, that's also another betrayal of our health system, our health sector, the structure where doctors are supposed to protect life and doctors are supposed to say the truth and say how things are. But within that system, we saw that a young child, in fact, it's not adult, a child being killed, murdered. The doctors know what killed this person, but they still sit on it. I think that is painful to even hear it, and it's painful to watch. And I didn't think about it if Bamba didn't bring that. So it's a failure of our fire services being so brutal. And when they go to take these jobs, they, just like the president, they swear that they're going to do it right, protect the citizen, do the work right, and help. They didn't do that. Plus, the military, they didn't do the same thing. The police, the health system failed them. And the government, because I remember when Asetunjai Sedi was saying that imandiningol kulu hale yaruñ len motax ñuy def li just hiding behind that. And then legi
lafta kanawdo because Asetunjai after the incident atata TV to la ko student ol fawol damalle kido ta e ñobum yala defana yo wuli afo dlaton
you see
so
that is also
definitely that officer tata radio station to ka fo ha student ol mam kulu ila al falme kulu so Asetunjai fana tata TV radio to ka tandi ko student ol damalle kido ta ka ñobum amanje ko sojoro lebum wala para lebum so system woni ne corrupt. As my brother said, Biraske November 11, Asoksita, Ayake April 10, 11, Asoksita, Abanta, saying I dictatorship sulo muta ayadun Gambia kak, Mindiata collect. Paral, Biribe Fintila, if I could remember, I think it can only the black, because he's a uniform. So Ngamera inati tolle push dol tombo kono from the adol bota soldier on kono. Ngamera jongola solnata finti wala kono. So system warning I will corrupt. I have found empower. Dictatorship mean I have slowed the Gambia kata kang sa min diata collect.
Okay. So if you come in for canting to purka sembentu ya, I think thank you Siga. It's making malum falka sigala comment jalaba ba min foga ko. When we do not hold individuals accountable and response got to their own criminal behavior, and we simply relegate it to fear of Jama, it breeds the environment for people to continue to brutalize.
I agree.
And then
that is what even Mustafa, I'm not cutting you short, but that is what we are seeing also, the continuity. Because we are seeing a new beginning also of Molbe Silala. Ibe Silala because ni diamuta ike kamale arrest in the name of security threat or whatever. I have a friend of mine who told me just today, Abenung Gambia, abe help la with this crime level member caring J because of our security background was helping a saitanang ya kumandiko NIA bano aya to come and arrest him for a picture he has published on social media. So we talking the same thing because things are not changing. Individual come sige menfo hadama dingol fango la behavior ila attitude nka jele ko amam falling back mantara situation mento wala musayen ko iwe kido tala ibe mbunna. That's where we are not yet. But
come
the
moka palaso le worship come ela palaso nyi enkore jamu ika palaso worship le to the extent palaso emi require it will book a walk. So ayatina it makes it easier for people to follow criminal orders, even unlawful orders, and join similar behaviors, because it is the future all the way to say, as I was afraid of my life. Coming Gafuko, in Silatana life, Walan Silatana Palaso, Walan Silatana. I don't know, ni exclusival malawell you know stop la. Pour mole sila ila palaso la. Not to lose my position. Pour mole sila ila life la. Pour mole sila ikana fo ila palaso darajo wala kodo aning. You know be mukuleti mini along if we continue like this. I don't know what legs do we have to stand on for material tentina doronga foko ngatu nyama dorong.
I think I would disagree, Ko, that the trend is continuing at this time because I don't think more
because this is what I want to comment in. Because yaje ko akamunta ko nka memfo aliasta le ka feel na the same feeling men soto aliasta le ka feel. If you can imagine alkanyi memfo ten menu yela life sacrifice ifata balanta ya jame bulu kodite kera man ofa menna position te kera man ofa menna mbalanta nko foto nya sabati mfangola the same dingo ngalla me yentata e kasoto yemfaya aketa president nata nko the same thing atekela jankotenke because don't left Gambia kela dula nyon tawte alsa imagine ngankodi ala plasola ngankodi kodola ngankodi everything nanko fongaje ko tonya sabati Gambia kodo bari muneka nake dolu kana loy ka foko ha politician ol be kili o UDP ning MPP be kili wonte nendiroti wonte masi boti at least nka memfo nkali na kumojele how painful it is ntol sa no le nu ngata na hajo lan kon data ya jamela kuto bari tenu Gambia betar la nyaadi mennu struggle ta il faut te la nafulola il faut te niola iko ka Gambia ke dula nyon tawti why hannal magni soto kafo alinga join UDP nge sementu ya fonsi Gambia bonni ni situation ko biya moy ka memfo alinga try nga parti do create o nga coalition do create membe bondi la ni situation ko.
Okay.
I think, to be quite honest, it's like UDP Kaiwo Semendia is a whole different thing, and that will be discussed on a different platform.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we're gonna drill into a political argument and we will lose focus on. Go on. So, and coming from there, I think I would disagree on the Sensco is the same trend that is happening because Jamila Wato, Hani Jang, if you take a telephone call, email call Gambia, you cannot even talk once you mention certain things. But it's time people can openly talk about Barrow, at home and in the diaspora, and they don't get arrested. So Minukake, we are becoming more interested and focused on the governance of our nation. Because I have no interest in politics. That political and on Ibuka Hanyika discourse, but it's how we can talk and we can challenge Barrow openly. So at home and abroad, you be about the 40 million Yemen Bondi about is it your birthday today?
I don't know. I just saw this thing flying. Clayman, are you Mustafa? Are you the one making this?
No.
I just said I'm seeing balloons flying.
So, Barrow Hanna left a dictator attack Kenola because he is not going to be allowed by Gambians both home and abroad. Jammeh enjoy that facility. Yeah,
go on, right?
Man, I understand what you're talking about. The level is not level o mantaraje. Bari mbewo simfa leta kansai because ya Jammeh abenu wolenya Otumo molka foko no bari among grau is freer than Jawara. Is it cool be keno opportunities le siata ko Jawara. I remember that time Hanin told Kabringa Yaya Jame oppose. I was living in England. They were calling us ko Jawara la dindingo lem nyilti be come far in there because sai mantara enjoyment. This is what they were saying. So bari yeah barola sai in kajele ko the same situation abe ke kane. Ibe mol aresla, ibe mol deindila, mol man. Some people are scared to talk because jamaka feel ko nindia muta mbenna fenko lusra na doko. Do ka feel ko non titi na no because man la fi da bondeje because ibite aresle fapre yera time waste ibe kumandile wato wati bita police report na back of them all time to ko ditembulo. So nyine mo situation oti Gambia jak. And also just to shift it a little bit back to Abdul Karim and Mr. Sonko, ko back to this thing ko nyimbe ko ketale nyimbe keta banko konole baronata. The agreement was there would be help ka victimol makoy melyalonko they are affected psychologically o ilanjuta je o hani bi recently ngaje ay mufta abdukar bi yefen so debe men fola nyinto.
Exactly, yes, precise. Abu Karim, yes. J Kumada.
Tonyalam bring anata tiara silota kiskisiro keta umol fota sedol nata milfa tajire ya gol fada nata ya ko indi ko nyinneke bari wo kola pour ko kol tamandi ko min birin tiara si parede kol be la nyamin ko nyinne nyanta kala ida victim olier or victim families and in survivors all nyinne nyanta lala perpetrator kan ko bi victim ol de tonya ko ala imaje follow because victims family and in survival ko bi if bi fam nalwe diam kan nyamin tete victim o dol bi je wol balari larang la wol be sasarin dol bi je li parolo dol bi je kidi so bol jato kono fo bi dol bi je ye tilimbali al mun kelo kurang dol bi je wol mbindi fewol le kurang be jato kono fo bi.
Okay, Abdul Karim, birin ko keta fo bi mole nene yete approach wala mole nene ya foye ko bayite you are a survivor pour mbela fela ke ma koy nyinna wala isita nyin blakar ibe ma koy rosoto la je wal fo mole nene approach kumal wosi falla ba Abdul Karim.
You mean during April 10 and 11 keta for B?
For B.
Exactly. Oben sambala nang kos lafta ko ke lawanto but say ngam nga follow la ko di siga wala ko ngam fali.
Yeah, Africa tanti.
Yeah. During aketa in 2000 mbeloptano to legal yembula. Malam fansi fono I don't know after sa fono surwa kan la ba malam.
Yes, afu surwa kan la no problem. Kan kan bere afu surwa kan la yes.
But sa ko man nika kan la den nga briefing surwa kan kos surwa man seni ya ba barinte la moy bamba wote. Anyway, during aketa in 2000, mbijele ye mbeloptano for 3 months in atambula bri yembula mbije mang jata kende asoto ko nyanta asoto la nyami. So in 2001 ending kana 2001 Gambian olumbe US Siga, because I normally call her Iron Lady Siga Jan, Juka Sise, Sophie Sise, Ulay, Sol Mbenga, Hussein Mbenga, Maila Ture, Sohna Sala. If I could fully remember, you lake for me, concerned Gambians. You follow. New story, ninga mira tiara si lanka regret le because tiara si sabo yang ambush le. Bill comme sama nyanta kada tiara si fanya ko bill ya fanya ko sama le ipediam lang ko yo anyway alin so time na domandi because nying caps no nyin lafta no ngai abula na statement no bye. Anyway, it's not too bad because I'll tell you after television. Gambia no ba mo I believe. So you like for me, they are called concerned Gambians, and I believe some of them are in UK, but I couldn't remember those people. But you remember fully, and that time I was in constant contact with Siga because owato kono nim boys wol mbijen del fanala police atolti domandi del ka access to no kata internet to email alo time o kankolle be kering telecentral ani internet cafe kataje communication o sondel kataje naka communicate so itoli a plan num pour ka mako num pour kata US kata treatmentology ñul tatal fo in kaytol be to ko to pareta penti je pour kata ka visa apply tatal fo hospital of soto mo le fam in US penti je pour kata ka visa apply kata treatmentology in US in 2001 but unfortunately wala yake sometimes ni mol ko Osama bin Laden ka kamfa because alo World Trade Center incident nying walen to la silon pay irin wo World Trade Center incident o nyinketa then American will not a patient jama wasoto inata for galia for science thing outside person in total because ali ala no mbe kerinja all ko is understandable we not have nyol nyama la time ta demanding ko nyim push then we'll keep you people update and from there yung kolta fo setulta bal still bal ma ko la lena jaro mbije again inata fanyo ko well treatment o mankeno yamdal talla aton foda la bangali a trial grade 12 ke or maybe to further your education but at that time nka mi rombentol kun kono anen ni toro ni kuya manna bulandino because yemira ibe nyamin nung nate nyawal jibe ne nyawal jibe yemira be nyamin den ani kuya ka wara ba so although onta manna moruno school pour ka grade 12 ke but nata computer classes ke itolle fana yo phone ka ojo understand so bije again in 2014 still iman tuje 2014 ya plan ko ko pour kam ma ko kan samba America again that treatmentology in tata America that day mo kilimbe kono jatole mati sigam ayon lady de bo fana jatole di sol mbenga
okay
sol
siga and sol
Gambia
benga okay
exactly sol nata Gambia le o time o before wolum ini ya jamela ni ya jame problem so in US irana to meeting wala je fo nin gal fighter je la NIL sol bo mol kono le min nin gal fighter o dele fatu kamara fana fight je so o kola lom sol nata sacrifice anata fo Gambia anata en tolta Gambia kan sama fo Dakar ko dada Dakar America report will be prepare je again o be soto na pak sign fenti je pour kata America so oto fana ilake wol malo munena ta hapun lege legen kataran no bundol fang galla motoje fang so jarol na motol ninge yen safon saw bole ko no nyilmu NIL leti sometimes dol fang bi ninge jen kala place so because inte I have an encounter with even Jammeh himself because in 2002 or 3 I start kata media alon dol ka falo ko mol buka hani kadi am Jammeh time but inte I talked openly about April 10 and 11 Al Foria check Foria newspaper and Voice newspaper. Kata jele every April 10 and 11 kata diam on justice. Me along kole tamata student ol kan don still manna justice sort. Kata le laba Uncle Sam Sar Voice newspaper Foria newspaper la editor. Akonye ko ila number sa enta kala je. Nkai mune kata. Akonye ila life is under threat. Nkai kan kolle nga even in the street you can't stop it afanye ko ndoge tel ka nyinga ko yes when you ma stop you could be kill ko ko ndita dal hopalantero do fendi ya pour kadu alna aliyam fa ndama wori so time on ni na encounter jama bala so ndika kadal ko state house nga da kon kon ka fay ko la fa ka ya jamel malia mungu nga taraje ni nga taraje ni nga nyinin ka ka wanyel ko itodo ni nga to fay wanye konto de ni nga fa ka wanye tamu jatole mbadi ko la fa ke ba ma jelan ka ha avanye jatolo muti buba jamme malum famali la broda la muti ba o fanan ko tare jel ka fanyen doge atrai ibaje la so that time nte fana on time ni enje ba fala ko no momi yalon ko no al lose the sense because mo worry ko te ko ka fenje ko sila fen kata media le na diamu ya publish at the end from daily observe only stop le ka publish nintare je ka fele mun yande interview lati jam but Korea newspaper thanks to Korea newspaper and voice newspaper because if I could remember have victim all April 10 11 student will mulfat kene kelenem publish on the newspaper if I could remember as a keno modoli yake but nte ngam kalam kontelem fulanja wonte bam fotnade wontel kata ela nem sol be bon irum koltara fa ko yada ko restricte mo be silande mo buka hani kadi amala kote te kata newspaper len ke tol be bon so time when I start and threaten with all that mansil so siga Maila Sol, then you have Juka Sise, Sophie, and Sofna Sala, Usain Mbenga, Nyumolu, ya katamole bucket, ilota nyeles totally. Idong honeybee ni kadiamule, idong ngala nanga ni obelale. But ni sa no ibakela le but anyway, alay min lo kanyanda.
Enembara, akumata.
Just a minute, or if I can just come in.
Yeah.
I saw something coming. Abdul Karim, you know, Yafoleko, these people help you, the help they're doing, and still now you're talking to them. Siganga sigalone because sigale ente dunde April 10, 11 called because Atel, you know, she's been gafaiko alabe. This is her baby. This was her baby. She was so adamant in making sure there is help. She was so adamant all the time that things have to be resolved. Medical, check hospitals, which hospitals, how to get the resources. And that was really something Siga has done. And of course, you mentioned Sol Menga also, who have also been involved in this, that I know. But Akamunta ko honeybee, there is need for help. Honeybee, there is need for help. Ninge lamoy, ninge moy.
Very well. Very, very well.
Situation no be nyadi be menkono.
B. I need help. But tubabol kam fole kala ikafle ladies first. Musu pula bije biti lot. Wolfanam April 10, 11 victim already. Because all time we are under dictatorship. Mojama bi yebuka hani ka funti. Jama bi yebuka hani ka diam. Even na colleagues all from boys all ning betaka media to ning ko alanga taka diam media. O dunia sem moy. Min ben na moli along. Ase kino support shot. Isa fanye boy mkoto ma kon kanata. Mfama kon kanata, mbama kon kanata. Muni keta mon ko ya jama be mol fala ko ndol dara fo be da fala. So kamene sila kote alanga tambe kalai. Understand? But yalo o time mo jama bu kan kafin. Then ñu musol fana be ma borin den mo time. Am soni ci o man kiliya. But wol fana ni dimom be ñola sembo war fa pakel.
Okay.
Minna kuma fulale. Kilingo nying sorry, lafte nyini kala kuma fula. Kilingo nying ikonung paral fulol wolnate kick. Iko ibetara la jam for 3 months. So afana iko ibenun lopitano to for 3 months. So lafta min nyini kala follow. Gali kick kabri ibe lopitano to bang o ye kick kabri ibe dinko nying kono.
No,
fulan jango nyinin karo nying wolem recently nga baroje ako aning victims mitale andung abe makoyla. I think I wrote something on that baro fooling the fools. So for ite tarata nungo victimul minu e baro mit andung ay makoyli jumale fo abal makoyla fo ale aya makoy fana.
Mba masele la follow la paral nyim yen kick daming wolo mbiring all red cross volunteer nyim sam immigration official mati alaji sise bira mbondi don dinko kono mbe sirin duma
Okay,
understand yelobe bokanda o time wolo minata yen kick ay kilingo dam ma wala ndam funon koto wala nyawda womamma fana ngo breaking simbulal
okay.
ngolo dam fulo break mbulal baro ay victim wal mitle ay victim wal fana mit nyaming mbado nga jefoy because mol bi jele comme sama la be victime wol mit la bi ay message ko sama nana so beso nyin tato le nyama ko sama li nana la takali den diri mitta I promise all di o victime wol ko nanta man daje ndati e mol le tombo wolle tare je way akoy le ko mbeñin kala adal tala nyamin dorom nte de ko la fonna victime mo ñolen ko nte baro la ñin government a malum fabe ko programme ñin avec ni nga explain avec la politique I don't know why nte ka fo le ko baro la ñin government mallela dum manji ko sembela côté because 7 years down the line mol be fakan every day victime mol be fakan every day and night 7 years down the line victime mol hane be lari ban jata kende asotono
yeah ako bala fa warta ne jiwe
ko bektala politiko la site la bambot ntegala jerot
ako bala fa warta bake because ne jibe molla karam la tinyanda molla jata kendel tinyanda nyinkol be kono so ako bala fa warta bake ite fele ila karam ya kanyan jelto because the trauma and in the tension and in medical fenko it had through minna wodrong kanyantale to be fair I think ngama dulanyanda tara jele mi alon ko mosa fako mako irdlalo mole minni alon ko tata nyun kusi fala nin tubab du jannon wosi fal batara jele mi alon fa wakela itata through mental cool minna porque mako e wala thanks to sika anila molbe sol mbenganyol bari I message do ke jam mi alon ko malafla ko rira ko Gambia will keep happening to Gambian people until Gambians ourselves choose and honor integrity and what's right, regardless of who it favors and who does it. Okumata bake banku kano. Angamara ka wole fojang in summary. Bari Dudu fana FM fojang. I'll come to Dudu. Dudu as atas jamfata demanding because siga ngamara comments jamal kabonang YouTube le, Facebook comment Dudu jauna le woke. Ako Bamba is right. You can pay a price. You can pay a price when you didn't comfort with the status quo. I was principal assistant secretary in the Ministry of Defense when the killings happened. Oh, okay, Dudu. I was personally dissatisfied with the actions of the security officers shortly after I drafted a speech for the Vice President Aistunjai Sedi to deliver at passing out ceremony for new army recruits. I emphasize the need for soldiers to defend the people and to see themselves as subordinate to the citizens. The newspaper headline. Malum Falka, do you comment I mean for about
I'm just now reading.
I've seen it. I was about to comment.
I think there's something trying to get in. Are you seeing?
Yeah, Mohammed, time for Mohammed. We've been trying to get hold of you, and then Yalon Jang, we've got time to be you're a bit late, Mohammed. The agreed time was 5 o'clock, but you are here 2 years.
That's right. But I told you that I would come in
half an hour
later. Yeah.
But look at it now; it's an hour 20 minutes late. Mohammed. To be fair. And we've got limited time down. But may control and baby similar anyway.
Exactly. I would like to say it's a good initiative to remember what had happened during the 22-year struggle and Pomfutatan and Daming. It's really a laudable initiative. For this year is about 7 years when you talk about the April 14th incident, about 8 years. But there are other incidents, especially Abdul Karim's experience, which is the April 10 and 11. I remember Abdul Karim's interactions with my father during the struggle when he would come home, and these things would be discussed. So I think it is very laudable. And with regards to time, I'm sure I'm just out of time, so I wouldn't able to say all I wanted to say. But I just want to say that this initiative is very much welcome, and we would keep keeping these people's legacies alive and making sure that we follow in their footsteps and continue their dedicated service to the Gambian population. I think that is the most important thing I would like to point out. And shout to Antinde, greetings to you.
Yeah, greetings to you, Mohammed and Mustafa. If you just want to allow me a little bit, because I want to just relate now Mohammed's reaction on this new meeting that the president have with the victims, because we heard from Abdul Karim saying that, well, he doesn't trust, and then of course, if I hear you right, Abdul Karim, it's last minute thing, and they were called to attend. Which, if that is the case, it really shows lack of respect and care towards victims themselves. That is completely disrespect from the president himself and the lack of care. Mohammed, I don't know, are you with us still? What's your reaction to that?
Yes.
That now
Just
the
5
president
seconds.
is taking steps, but
I
even
want to
that
add
steps
something.
looks like it's in the wrong direction.
Can I come in just 5 seconds?
Yes, Mohammed. Yes. Sorry, Abdul Karim. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the second time, because when the German president also was coming to the Gambia,
Yes,
this is what he did. He just, sat promptly and called the victim center. Oh, I need 25 victims to the State House now, tomorrow, I don't know. So this is how we arrange each other. They
Yes.
rose there because of the German president was coming to the Gambia for
That is sad.
publicity. I think
That is really
people
sad.
understand what
It's
I'm
complete disrespect.
Exactly. This is the second time he's doing it.
Yeah. Mohammed,
Exactly.
your
Now,
reaction
Mohammed
to, because we saw that, sorry, Abdul Karim, you are coming again.
Yeah, Mohammed can come now. This is what I
Yeah,
want to add.
Mohammed, your reaction to this new trend that the president is calling people to come and help. And I'm sure Falang also will have a reaction on that. What's your reaction to that?
It's it's not a new trend, if I may say. If you say it's a new trend, calling people to come and help, I think he has always done that, so it's not new. But I don't know in what context you're talking about it, because he has called various groups to the State House for various different reasons. Some are laudable and some are completely off touch. But with regards to our meeting with him, we actually, as you would see in my description, is with regards to the Solo Sanding Foundation, then we were invited because in the transitional justice process, I'm sure most of you are aware that there are various organizations that work with victims of violations around different thematic areas. So these organizations basically advocate on behalf of victims with the government. So basically, it's that in that context that we this meeting held. So the meeting was held in the context of victim-led organizations and also victim-focused organizations through the post-TRRC unit of the Ministry of Justice. So with regards to the nature and the promptness of the calling or the meeting, I would leave that to everybody else's opinion. We see it just as it is, and we know what are the right things to do and they are not to do. But with regards to that, in my perspective, as someone who advocates for the rights of victims and looking at the processes that have been initiated from 7 years ago to now, we are looking at a transitional justice process, and it includes a whole lot of processes that needs to be honored and meticulously carried out in order to arrive at a healed society, And so in that context, there's the aspect of the reparations, which are truly important to every victim. We always continue to lament how important those things are. So our conversations were basically centered around government's commitment to pay reparations, as well as to factor in the other issues that are really important. And we also asked the president to pay attention to victims, to consider the plight of victims. And in doing that, we invited him to visit the victim center. So I think it was a good meeting, and it was a step in the right direction, even though it is, we are advocates basically. And so advocacy could mean anything. You could be dealing with any kind of person, but then there's a process you get to follow. And on your side, it is done. So whoever's side it is not done, that is for posterity to judge.
Thank you so much.
Mustafa, can I quickly comment there? Yes. Yalong fala ye fendole start Suleiman Kuntuta Nyato ka itandi ko the stand of the UDP. Nia jube nga victimo la kumole kajajam. Yo anu nimman to nyafo. Ntita nola nti move nola. Yaje niko nga peace maintain. There has to be reparation. There has to be also victimo nyim me ya lon ko me ye pain nyim feel wo nyanta lon dala ko me ye pain nyim inflicting kan is remorseful wole ka reconciliation o natino banko move forward but nyajube even the 10th and 11th April student massacre adetita nyameng was yaya jamme inform le ko opposition on le be student ol koma walantina yaya jamme ko kill the bastards sorry for the language nyinantine karamundo dindol bon ye bung 6 years yaya jamme la maralo kono yaya jamme 6 years into his administration kabrin coup d'etat 1994 6 years doro student ol dati ke fa
you yala na jamala wo fay yala misinform wala ni wala
ay satu njay sedi kola jumale ba falay
okay
na aling fonga tonya la fonyoy Babukar Jata ngamo ile my son Mr. Jame nata Babukar la kumo kama la Babukar keta nyame Babukar knows what he did Babukar na be sojarol nyato ya understand le anu mbenga lo neko ñu cover up men be keta hanki panki fo Gambia mansa kunda nata pour ka student union fongo ke boycott ka napsalondi Gambia National Patriotic Student whatsoever nonsense they put up there. Inata wolondi parallel to Gambia Student Union. Ya understand? Nyimbe munemu because iman Gambia Student Union iman lela trust.
Okay.
Ye butale ko opposition olem. Ya je bri president Baronata, Maduro Mustafa le Milan. Bri president Baronata. Nga même plan wolemu a victim center nyinka law ka make sure ko victim they are properly cared for. But birim baro nata boycott ke baro lafta pour katente marlola ye kameita ni baro fana na wala mindi ko nyi victimo karakelo bebu yudi peleti nya kasila wala dina baro
so how
no ino mo toro Suleman let me land madunga land
you are trying to be selective here
Suleman Suleman ita kindiro ke atita mo nyama Suleman yalo ni ko na to na mantai
UDP
ko na mo to ni to na mantai ko na to nya ni kadima ikamenta ni president Barrow la wala mi ko victim of
UDP not all about
Suleiman, can you just wait let
no but I never got him to because Suleiman knows very well ko ngam fon ka to nya Suleiman ne ko problem
you are all
Suleiman ne problem because every action requires a reaction niaje Suleiman can react. He always and all one always gives one method in a problem. We are not fools here. Suleiman was in the police force. Suleiman was in the police force. You understand? Even whereas Hana Suleiman Tilinta, but Atebe Dame Safkang, what Jen Ketalako Montaiga, Gambia police force.
We don't Tilinta or not.
You understand? So Nin Suleiman has a more police force. Not don't let me. I know that. Ngalo ne ko Suleiman to son nante nga diam ko Suleiman ya you understand for Suleiman will you understand the ko we can only move together as a nation. No nation can move in isolation. Dunia mbele denda. Dunia is global. This world now mete moment of science ni aje Babukar Jata talk up till today munantina Babukar Jata when mak alabanta safla alabanta banko safla that was a while ago. When Niaje Hanikabi talk for is because of I menke kunun. Niaje I said it talk for. I said it's a mother. Is a mother, is a teacher. At the same time, she was the second most powerful person in the Gambia at the time.
Right. In summary, on records, in Africa Foko, I Tunjai said it ole order ke pour April 10, 11 student year far.
Without even blinking. I said ya jame order ya jame afa tele atele a pass Babukar Jata a pass soldier role may didn't fa fonga for nyama. That is what happened. Nothing more, nothing less.
I agree with you.
Babukar Jata is the commander in chief. Babukar Jata la army commander. Order the pass la motor life ammunition or dino la soldier role Babukar Jata mambakala.
I have TRRC la fang. TRRC I have
You understand?
Because I
I
remember
said
that
Njai
he
steady.
said
I said
he
Njai
was
steady.
part
Bi
of
ya jame matra Gambia. Handa tara msafuko sembo membabula down data because soldier role matter. But I said Njai said it legally and the malice was ordered, you know, because she was number 2.
Edani
Ni
ya
na
jame
jame
communicate la wode.
So Bamba lafta min ñinin kala pour to jang
Abdul Karim
klendi
is saying something.
Abdou Karim bala rek Bamba jamale ya misil ka faye ko ñunu opposition non le ya fo la ko moko jamal
I
non
said Njai said in your leo for Yaya Jammeh wotuma be Cuba.
Okay.
Yaya Jammeh ni menu be je. Ani menu be Cuba. Wolle ya fonde bamba masi ani menu be Cuba no. Iko kibaro be funete tolmo wala mu ñinti ko. Iko opposition le kafuta student ma. Kidole be opposition bulu. Anu hani ya report fa jube to le ben fo wala mu ñinti ko. Student fa wol dambale ñoo bunne because kido be student bulu. Student be kido boni la min tol.
Thank you. So your reaction even me for control.
I'm not disputing that fact, Neko. Ndefanga wo moyle ka for UDP lebe mararing wolle ka student all support. I ngawo moyle. But in coming for you know, left minna nibe dihamola is like when you are calling people accountable, you should be accountable yourself. But ite modol call accountable when you are not accountable. Barola victimol kabringa yol command I think I came out and I wrote on that Baro is fooling the fools. He's trying to teach old dogs new tricks because 7 years come Mr. Jamea Fonyameng. He had an opportunity within that 7 years ka victimal support, kajeko ila life elevator, kajeko all the recommendations ila repatriation yeol bejo, but none of that has happened. And Mr. Jamea Fanyafo na hakilo maoma. The first meeting was kabring German president kana. This time for kabria nata ntengajeko it was a political stunt. He did that just to get a political point. But amake because alafta killer, alafta will support la. Because na lafte support la no, he wouldn't wait for 7 years pour kawol kumandika for abe support la. But near for Barodama, UDP has its own victims, Mia Lonko, it may support. I came out and I wrote about that, I think about 2 years ago. Mind your business, Mantara UDP, don't talk about UDP issues. But I feel I have to talk about it because it's a national thing. We'll let him in Banta and many others. Many Alonko, Dabo was number 2 in the government. But I am Muneke when he was number 2 in the government, Ka and Soko, these victims have been supported. Anu minu miyalonko UDP dingolem yewol soronne yewol bute yewol fote la nafulo la fote la doko la aye muneke wole pour que la life elevate nothing. So can you stand here and have the moral audacity for ibe balo bremla for things miyalonko when your own leader had the opportunity to do, he failed to do it, and you are not calling that out? I think that's very hypocritical.
Thank you. Nay?
But Suleiman, yes, I agree with what you're saying, that I mean it has to be two-way, but because they don't do it doesn't mean that Barrow shouldn't do it.
Of course, I'm not exonerating. I don't exonerate Barrow. Mafo, he shouldn't do it because I even came out and said
Mustafa Ninde pare de be flow di la
Itela bugo man itela
bugo alcatara nyola dendara ni pare
sol del mama bugo dia no min kala sol mama
no
okay I don't this to ñun mo lay katu ñolal drom ba min kala say let's give that no
I'm different from Bamba.
Sol mayal ne mu ñew
man suma neeg lima wax ndey moy before nga wax sa neeg du tilim nga xamne sa neeg ngi tilim nga ñew di xol suma neeg bala nga ne ma balé suma neeg ma sétal ko na fekk sa neeg set first.
Yeah, but Suleiman, that analog is very wrong in this context.
No, it's not only wrong; it's hypocritical. You have been very
responsibility.
You have been very lenient with Suleiman.
Mohammed Sandeng said something.
I think I want to say something again.
That is the job of the president as well, to pay attention to the victim. Yes, UDP ila molem. These are ila molem.
Was Dabo not vice president? Was Dabo
what does vice president mean? You need to. I think Antinde, I'm sorry for cutting you all here, but I think Suleiman, you're making a very sober argument. There's some sense in it, but I would like to remind you that in all of what you're saying, Dabo has not been head of state if you are looking at it from the perspective of who has influence to do what.
No, what I'm using
I
that
know
in reference to
I'm using
that in reference to what Bamba said with
I'll let you
Isabilia as number 2.
Yeah,
so
I'll let you
if
put in
Isabilia
context.
had status as number 2, Dabo would equally have the same status and powers.
Yeah, so some analogies sometimes are not very parallel like that. But what I'm trying to say also is that just to because this, you might want to say it somewhere else, and then but the fact of the matter is that we're haral ma waxee ko si olof su dee ne dañoo xool ne okay, nobody, for example, let's put it in this context, right? That nobody, for example, let's say Solo Sandeng began all the people who were with him. Dabo did not ask any of them to go out or do any agreement with them that I'll take care of your family whatsoever. Now that is happening. It is happening in each person's individual capacities as citizens. I mean, one vote at one casting right. Come Dabo si bopam. You understand? So they went and in, let's say, in an analogy, let's just put it in a completely, remote, inconsiderate analogy. Let's give it a very inconsiderate analogy like that. Now, lulu dem na happen na dabo hot ken mo dem protest. Lula dal happen. Okay, let's put it in that analogy. Now, lulu happen na. Everything changed. Now we come and have a government. If we are still using that same analogy of yours, who did we vote? 2016. Barrow. Now, who is the head of state? If you know how Gambian governance systems work, di nga xam ne suñ la defoon vice président yow mi sa boppay xëy na doo ko bugga lu tax nga ko bugga mooy ne dañoo wax ne kii VP la waaye xam nga ne lu président bi waxul doo ko def lu président bi mënul doo ko def. That is the reality there. You might want to argue about it, but now coming to the point, Monica, still we have a transitional justice process. Yeah, I understand. But xamante ne government has taken oath ne moom it will take care of the people. Te loolu moo nekk responsibility government, and that is right. Government more war a def responsibility boobu noonu. So loolu transitional justice process boobu noonu mu ngi on lu UDP ak victims ci UDP ak UDP du Dabo di defal gaay man duma la ko mën a wax fii nii because man mii suma boppa xaw ma fu mu toll ak kan la dee defal ak kum du defal waaye xam naa ne man de so
no, but can I quickly interject?
My response is
no, all right.
Mohammed, just hold on a minute. Mohammed,
allow Mohammed to finish.
No, I wouldn't hold on. What happens is we are having a conversation and we have to allow ourselves to let each other land. I could be here, yes. Like anybody who wants to say something, I'll listen to you. But somehow a half thing and you cut me, then you're not getting the sense of what I'm saying.
Okay, go ahead.
Mohammed, okay. Continue. I would take care of these two. They are always like this.
It's a very interesting conversation. But the fact is that look at those contexts. There's a transitional justice process which is supposed to do certain things for victims. At victims, government send ability cover. That is the reality. With the right things in place. The advocates the transitional justice process. There's a whole lot of gaps. Why the from you they work together to bring those things together. I cannot take away your opinion from you, likewise, Bamba. But what I'd also like to say to Bamba is the fact that we cannot continue to be the nganyante silo hamde that happened in the past. Same to you, Suleiman. What's your opinion is about Lu Dawo's failures where Lu Barrow's failures where take failures I'm gonna persistent my Barrow Sinko Jelly as failures because more Monica head of state still more government machinery and everything. Why I believe the same thing. Come Lord. So we as a culture, sir, we need to pass through because we go pass it with the family mero amni do stop. So the same thing then you go and about the past. The past has gone. Yeah, I understand. So let's say if I'm gonna be honest to you and sentimental, I'm allowing it. But disrespect boom to my family, maybe different to any other family, considering, why that's not my point. My point is that we have a process and we need to follow it. That's the only way we can hold Barrow accountable. Not about his generosity and lack of generosity. Everybody would have their different opinions. They cannot let them say Barrow make a brown envelope. Can them from Mufran so but another time the same person would go there Muneh. So this is it. But it's not very important when it comes to Kid and Costanil Carta, and we need to hold them accountable. So those principles don't care whether you are generous or you are happy with me or not. What you need to do is what you have to do.
Thank you. All right. Okay. In summary now, Lady, I think we're almost 2 hours here.
Can I come in quick?
So I think we've been here for a while now. I'll give you 30 seconds, Sol, and then if you can summarize, please.
Well,
Mustafa, that's not fair. You should give me first before Sol.
Okay, you go ahead, Bamba. I'll come last.
Thank you. Thank you. I think we have to be fair here. Like fair and balanced. You see, my frustrations with Suleiman is Suleiman normally no manina falana Suleiman Talabimenna he normally tries to make people look at apples as oranges. They are different. United Democratic Party is a political party. President Barrow is the president of the Republic of the Gambia, including the United Democratic Party. He is their president. Whether we like it or not, President Barrow is our president. He is our chief executive. For people to come out to say that because UDP had their man become vice president of our nation and didn't do anything for the victims, that is an insult to the nation. That is an insult. Hussein Dabo was number 2, but at the same time, Adama Barrow was number 1 even then. If Adama Barrow wanted to help the victims, he would have helped the victims. Let us not come to blame games to say UDP also was there, but they didn't do anything for them. That is quite disingenuous. That's unfair. Because when UDP was there, that was when Mr. Boubacar Siddiq, Mr. Jammeh can bear me witness when they went to Turkey after the TRRC, during the TRRC sittings, when they were in Turkey trying to get the medical help, medical treatment while they were there. He knows what our stance was as a coalition government, because then we were a coalition government. We did what we could. That is not to say that we did that because of UDP, but we did that because we were part of the government. We didn't see ourselves as part of UDP. What the nation needs to look at is the nation's coffers is in the hands of Adama Barrow and his government, not the United Democratic Party. In fact, this is why, because of this kind of ignorance they injected into the heads of people, this is why I see people saying that, okay, because Barrow has given 5 million to journalists, UDP also should give 5 million to UDP journalists. Can you imagine? This money is coming out from our taxpayers' money. This is not coming out from a political party. Gambians should not see Adama Barrow as a political party. Adama Barrow is the president of the Gambia.
Thank you, Bamba. Okay.
This is what I want people to understand.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Bamba.
Suleiman reacts, and I have a reaction because Falang, I'm sure, would come in.
Yes.
Lima buga degeral. What I want to emphasize more in honesty is quite essential. Understand that Barrow is the head of state, and then Barrow, for the victims, more responsible guy, more implement TRRC recommendation. He should give the victims a closer. Understand na Lulu. And then when he met them, I was forced to come out. And then he should have done that 7 years ago. He had the opportunity and he didn't do it. For me personally, I didn't see him. He meant business when he called them. He just called them because for political reasons. That is my opinion. And Mr. Jammeh emphasized na Lulu. Using the same method be German president be the new. But for Bamba just to stand and arguing things you have based on any reality, for me I feel it's very
Thank you sir.
Understand? Because Gambia is always first. Man dumade whole whether mangi NPP or UDP. Whoever feel nane is out of touch, damade come out mawahlane you are out of touch, irrespective of what other people will believe or madewa. So for me, gisuma ñeneen seen opinion ak li ñoo everybody like Mr. Sandeng said is entitled to your opinion. Suma opinion, and nobody can take that from me. And I'm not taking anybody's opinion. Why the fact of the matter is, so dega bi ñëwé ñu wax ko rek ngir Yàlla tax.
Thank you.
I was just quickly reaction before we go into the wrap up. Again, Mohammed said something about the president paying attention. For me, I always hold the president accountable, especially when you deal with national things. When we had Utoya in Norway here, when Breivik killed almost 70, 60 young kids in Norway here, the state didn't look at it as Arbeider Party. Arbeider Party is the Labour Party. He went into their event, the Labour Party's event, killed all those kids. But it was not seen as an Arbeider Party thing. It was seen as a national crisis because the Norwegian kids that were killed. And the state took up that responsibility to make sure that they gave them the help. Not because it's an opposition party that has his people been killed, because Breivik's motivation, and he said it very clear, he's going to kill the younger generation of Labour Party so that they won't create any more new politicians who will come and run the country. So for me, that is where I feel that the government is accountable, President Barrow is accountable, and I hope he will listen to something that Mohammed said here, that he should pay attention. They are not Photoshop. The victims are not Photoshop. They are not people that he bring and advertise. They are not a product. They are human beings like Abdul Karim, like Solosanem. These people have been through a lot, and I see going through a lot, and they need to be looked at. Honestly, they need to be looked at. Human beings with feelings and pain, not Photoshops.
A lot of lessons to be learned. Karim, Samba Minkela, let's come to you. Lamin Sonko, coming for your final thoughts. Ila konoto dia abakala minute watu tata bakele program dole nyantan alanan. But Samba Minkela, ila final thoughts is a marko e woto. Munamu ila konoto diati na kachak ngoto B. Lamin. Malam fay kam wala ba Lamin ila microphone even mute la
lata
yes thanks
okay nimmoli ekkelo nimmoli ekkelo ke la banko e pour ala kama dinni mera on nal ma fo nyeno al nimbara la baraka al kana fo ko al ben do yala bawal tol ya lonko vice president ye sembo soto nyaonya ate tambila president wala nunte yente nyiwol be katinda ko nol kabri yambulantata na dendi solia ye invoice led na up to $38,000 akonye konkai but kodi tende bulda akonye ko no nungo womu Nigeria no akonye Mr. Sonko altol ye menke hannin kodi tebulu ntebe responsibility ala le kete jara nga bilonyi sika nga samba president Barrow fangole ndulume yente bula atra president the party is owing me $7,500 he manjono Barrow konye ne wolum falang niaje deketa president ala na altolo wolum na $10,000 bonda adinda kabri nga bilo sambaye $38,500 ay 20,000 ay wala di lamin tiabla kay ko nyin samba falay hani kabi wo balan so julo ben ni wolte ma mejono bi mamuta fenna woto ku membeteng ninko alinga na nyokan nganna banko doku alkana je ko niye kampada soto against Dabo near anything soto against Dabo, that is your problem. But alinka na usamananja nin lafta fort ahela nin lafta tala sabanga beta Gambia soto ntolbe wale jirika niko UDP nkol mang victimol nafa solo sande na korda. I can tell you this code UDP nkol le buloka funyoma yalo ay fa bota duaso kuna tata sije isembo dango imeno ikakele ndamal ka nyoma ko ile ibe mol la karam mo jole ibe dino la karam mo jole men yalon ko ifanyol fata UDP ko le ken du mantra man sakunda bari damal ke bulo fanyo kan kele dimal la hajo tuje men no fanyol fata bayol kawol makoy ni ka lo bi ka foko UDP manyin ke UDP manyin ke bamay no foto nyale isan insult alinga hatred bondin damal te mangake bakilin fakilin tinga Gambia doku wala nyanta kela katuko itata mobilem la me yalon ka mantra hanna be system okono asembe tala atakeno la inya be lari melta keno kena bato iman kuma foye ko be odo bilem ndidi amdoro ha dabo sinyin keno dabo kamen keno as usenu daba be o ke kanne abala kodo bonni kan abala fengo bonni kan abadika wo dimba la bari atelo la kene bato ka fo mole ko ngani ninni ne ke victime le atelo ke la dimba le men sa kenye no dum o ye dol ma ko jande men ya lon ko victime de men ken to hani wo ko ta fon tol ma ke because ali men fo wolen to nyati APRC ko lu still wol ya jele ko ntol yem fanne fa mo manyan na ma ko la dum bi baro ya sisi fa wala ni wolel be system ko no alba expect la control be justice so to la wol nyala alba expect la control be jaralo so to la wol nyala because hani kabi wol ka ko le ko ntol ngamen ken tol len taw because manyan na findilano ni man findinu adama si boja ni tol kilo leba enjoy kan now nintol man findino adama siki bojamba ala barakal nimbar
baraka bake yalon jang nyin kacha akadia bake wala nang janni mol kana jang ka foye ko jang independence lebi jam mo ni hanyi to dia mola na ya fo jang wala nang ka fo mola janni binala jang ka foye ko mol min bi jay be ko ngo fata bakele so iba hanyi la pour kana jam pour nga kacha do bi ya se kandi do bi jay ke kudo de mi yalon ko bari nga wuli wala kam pour kam mol faham de kulla and then mimmu ila mimbe hakelo ko pour ka fo mamira wo mu ku jawti Marik Abdul Karim ila final thoughts kono to dia janim bina modol kan and then ngaku kumfa
aparaka bake mbal tentula mbal jayla la invite on program kumma bato na final thought mumunti walam Gambia nga problem wala soto ya jame problem wala di molla problem mi yalan ko fo bi nabe ñolale o problem o ñing yalo ka fale ko reform Gambia hol mol ka fale reform in all sectors ndengamira Gambian kol famo idi amanke government dammat Gambia dingol bele ñanta reform la ñol especially na attitude na katanga falling yalam banku di ya forta bak Gambia dingol bi laftana bakola de bari banku di ya bi ni aji be especially na ban sekunda do kulal wolbe la poso le fe so reform ñi ñanta kala ñamen Gambia dingol bele ñanta kala nga reform ngam fa reform sina government hold accountable pour reform ye kono e correct because ñabe example lan mul yalan ko wol dolu kuma jamal le fot man sala president wala karola bari bi wolle ko jamal fala pot ko mon la wol dolla so reform manke government da mal sector da mal yanda reform la Gambia dingol fawon dol fawon le yanda faw reform la taji ka kendo ta na banko kanu na banko je na banko diyaje na banko sambano dimmo ke ku kilimo da mal be taraka 50 doron so wo lafta ko di Gambia ko bela alinga kata ngan jikol falling la finna banko la nga banko di ya kanu na banko kanu la njamo victimolu Gambia ko ne isalan ko victimolu ibatatale victimolu yelole bonta victimolu le laari be kurandi victimol le sularin jararola victimol dolla family bi je bi wol ke la nyami kawli nyami ala da mal yalo nem man sakunda man simfatano pour que lo victimol la kola sanyi warawla to bi ka ko mo ko nyinnom to Gambia dingol mum be pantala ani Gambia kon ala nga wili victimol de ma ngi ma koy cause luwolu mbele ba moy kanko victimol be fakan to wilinge makoy to nya modol bije wali akata hani bi ba kata kan victimole bari alnga la fa ko ni wonte sama reparation ni ba di la jamal ndeysan wala ka o hero long aya katale at the end of the day reparation nyanta di la ay jararo soto afana la contribution o keno society kono wala banko la development ko so ni wo manke fo nge jibe o nyama be fa kan killing sama reparation wato e si adingol fela wala dol fela ko dol fela ngadi wala preparation ñin nafate wala
ene mara Abdul Karim
so alnga Gambian ko alnga funti nga victime lu makoy nga pati silo landi sio comme ethnic ma silo landi nga banko diyata nga ñew fasa nga na banko nga topoto comme ayanta topoto la ñami because ya jibe Gambia be komale dalbe komale e ɗum fana ñanta silo tala sa ngam ngata komin molbita ka ñami bari abala fa warta baka ni emira Gambia la kunum min tambita biwo ka 50 ko bala fa warta baka
ene mbara
definitely
ako bala fa warta ene mbara bake Abdul Karim legit state right Mohammed Your final thoughts, ila kono to dia, and then Mohammed Sandeng, yeah? Malam foi kam moela bang, foi froze dalabang. Mohammed?
It looks like Mohammed is frozen.
Okay.
Well, I'm on. Not sure
You're
if you
on.
guys can hear me.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, last words. I'll just follow on thinking.
No, let it be thoughts.
Or last thoughts.
Let it be thoughts, yeah. Because Nicolas wo kijavaro warnol.
You Westerners are so specific about things. So Abdul Karim la kumole noma come coming for about banku dia collateral. I mean tolbe mimbi jangani akilengole mbendija na manke no Gambia ti walantom badadame, those kind of things. Maybe in Tenyo from London, we could have been any other people from anywhere else. But the fact that banku dia and it's very, very difficult, right? Adikata maninyama bega tamanim hakil tuala anim fanang kamunya nyoye nga sabar nyoye bari fanang nkanyo fanang Mafandol GB. Coming, I'll just
maybe I incoming calls or incoming calls like a video drop la jama. So if you can decline the incoming call, wobe Makwela Bakele Mohammed, it'll be Mohammed. Okay, right. Say Marlon, let's give him seconds and see for a reconnect or no. But no one day. Saul. So fine. Mohammed, ngamari incoming call is already. Wala kanyi sabde malum for lamba.
No, network from Borita actually. Yeah. From the,
I gone.
Yeah, but I'm coming from Nimba this sort of discussions. I know maybe not everybody is inclined like that, but for example, one thing that just happened, me along Conte, I always make sure I avoid it a lot, and that's what everybody else would avoid when we are dealing with this situation, especially around victims. Many along they have been traumatized for long. There are certain choice of words and certain conversations. They might be fit for certain platforms and certain discussions, but sometimes you would have to like give leeway for certain things to just fall off, like how Suleiman acts might have triggered my uncle Mr. Sonko. But apart from that, I think what I last opinion there's a process me along caring. I think that process is what intolsiming fonoko nying mo whole la responsible through wala ya understand comme modo la party leader ya wala modo la koditi ya wala wama kala responsibility in this area. But so mimbe tutaje wala the process me along ko wala government created process me always caring transitional justice. Now we are coming to the point of reparations. Government kakodo spend nyame. Now wala atina it's very important now how citizens have to be engaged and participate in how government does what they do, how they spend our budget and all of that. Now we're talking about all of these issues. Based on reparation is something very, very important. Naman Soto is not going to, the healing process of the country is going to be hampered because you're going to have angry people, not even because they're just angry for no reason, but because they have things to sort out, which the government has to add a market, not a reparation. And now that comes back to how citizens should be engaged to extent of even the budget because the reparations commission is coming up, like it is said, but where is government going to pick money and put it there? And I know there are a lot of citizens they are concerned about that, but Nimam participate whatever. I think this is one area citizen participation. So I just want to say I'm grateful for this. I laud this initiative very, very well, and I think everyone here alamambe nasawu mumindi akelanya dal because mbela intention mumindi to yata walen ko mini batata yefisia soto mini alongo torata yeke na institution sol fanan yeke fo nyimpol to repeat la nan kotenge wala ma be alama ala yawo ke mole inshallah.
All right, embarrassing.
Yeah, I think even though we disagree to agree, but it's like we have to be honest, in my opinion, in our deliberations, because if you all have to be good citizens and be very active and proactive citizens, we should be selfless and stop being biased only to support things that favors us and against things that does not favor us. I don't believe in that kind of participatory politics, because ni banko tinyada Gambia bele tinyada. So it's not only Manka Mankunda lebe tinyala or Baro lebe lusla, it's every Gambian lebe lusla. So if we are fighting things, it has to be, universal. We have to come together and nationalize instead of tribalize or regionalize or party politics based on that. So if when something is wrong, it's like, for instance, repatriation and in victim soul. So bring Baronata Kumandi, I saw it as a political thing, but he did not mean well when he called it out. But we can also see when we talk about politics, it's like some of us get quite immature in our responses, and that shows how difficult it would be for Banco Sambanyato. Because when it comes to politics, we need to be mature to talk about it maturely, and respectfully. But Ningana Jusul wrong is not gonna make it, because at the end of the day, it's like we'll all support what we believe in. And at the end of the day, the majority would always, take the lead, irrespective of what the minority, whether that is the truth they believe in or not. So na consciousness and na patriotism should, take head over our personal and individual, objectives. Allah baraka.
Thank you. Bamba, sorry, Kadim, ile.
Oda, mfele siring.
Kadim, ila kona
Yalo, Mustafa, nte menkan jahali Gambia no lakuoto wolem. We call ourselves Muslims. But mamiranga, the value of being a Muslim now understand. Because kake misilimoti, ning ataran tol kontola dinole mu dinol bela tonyati. Ndola dinole seneata dinol beti. Ni dina dolu menu alonko itolbe dinol menu badunka. Wol dinol expiatale. Wol tambitale. Ndolle la dino mu last dinoti. Christianity wo ni dina kota wol nkol be tambitale. Wala annabiyo mol natale tata saying ndolle la annabiyo mol labantanala mo be nyanta bulala wala nom. This is what we preach. Ndol misil mol nka wala preach. Nka lafta du mol fane be belief wala. Bari Mustafa mbuka men understand Gambia no la behavior to surtout Gambia misil mol la behavior to wala mo. Gambia misil mol jama bije, they are very disingenuous. I'm sorry if anybody feels offended, but wala mo tonyati. Yalong ninko nga tonya fasa. Mbele nyanta tonya jela ko tonya ate munun kono tiyolati niya saba akadimile. Amanna moya tonya manke motati. Mo bele denta tonya. Anun tonya amur frontier. Bi Gambia kata nyameng. Gambia kata nyameng. Mbele nga understand ko. Ninko mbe Gambia jela ko. Banko bela nafulo. Imira banko bela rankeso. No bete bulu. Itela supporter sol kalo ikafo ko opposition olu ha wol fanam fawo nyanta ifon la ko do boni lale mbe banku ding Gambia di be kile Gambia di be regardless of ila political affiliation, you are a Gambian first. Wala ntine kita politician not wala ne belong to a political party. Wala nyanta emphasize la mbe ngo understand ni momo ganyeta kita banko la president, he becomes the president of everybody including the opposition. Ntolni President Barrow le nyinkelo dati nyola to fight against Yaya Jammeh's tyranny. Ntolni President Barrow le Yaya Jammeh kajafi fengo bela ay tilimbale amen beke ntolni President Barrow le ya kajafi sanji muwanne feng nim President Barrow be UDP nim President Barrow nata na lo ka nyati le Gambia la ka ko UDP is a threat to national security. President Barrow is telling the Gambians indirectly that he is the first #1 threat to national security because he has been UDP all his life. Yalo moja mabuka Bamba understand. Bamba sometimes nibe diamo dol kamera I talk with emotion. No. Ndiamu nyalem. Na diamu watu do benka diamu le without a pause. Moment be long ani ko be.
Bamba planya ko sol modo la falanya sole bambalom bakel.
No Suleiman Mambambalo. Suleiman si même photo about Bamba. No ila moy do Suleiman si même photo about Bamba is very minimal. UDP le Bambalo. Yalonte, ntemu mosifa mendente, when the truth comes, I do not look into anybody's eye. Nteka truth la nyakono le jube, to nyala nyakono. Nteka otonda mali jube. So nimole njebu kanyi.
Yes, now since we came to the end of it.
Ika silale. So mole nyako nyino understand lango, ninko, alimbe nga to nya fasa laftale pour Gambia kuto nga ole dundi. Nga Gambia koto fay, ya jabela system nga fay. Nimbaro murta back to that system. Suleiman le nyanta kala mo foloti ka baro kaja fi kafa ko ibe silo men ka is wrong ñine tol ni baro ku yandi baro mbeko ya jamela system nga fay nga system kutota ate ni boro ye ko murta ko mata ate ñu nawo mo lay sabana e jurmi tula kilik expecting a different result abe different result sot lo la ñadile President Barrow is employing APRC. President Barrow is employing Jamme, many Jamme empower, many Jamme felini, many Jamme ke dictatori, many Jamme ke kilati. President Barrow ka wala employee B. I expect for him to get good results. No. Unko Mustafa, ite Mustafa ya lo de mobe ya lo ko ninte pareta no. Mbebula la President Barrow no I will maintain my position because President Barrow man te bay fo birin kay ko man ta bola UDP. Otumale yembay ko. Nilla ko mo len wejef ni men be jenu fol man continue ni la tambe continue te mara bi mu deputy ambassador o mu ambassador ti mbe wuliya fola man ben do nay mbe daba kurto fayla fo nyokoro but that is not me ndama wuli wakama ka jamme kele ndama jamme kele because of jolalem ndanga jamme kele because I don't like his system President Barrow fana mba kele kam because I don't like his system President Barrow mun kotole de fala nos kotole
okay Nimbara baba
men sotla ndo sotla UDP
Nimbara baba ndey
sabatindi banko tapita wala le banko tapia fo tapi bata wala le tapia doya bata tapia bele deta ndejo bata beta kadi amde yar fatte malo ba yar fa ndejo bata nana malo kuna ndejo bata mama koroto nde fama la yoga pulana nan tarno way wala sukorele jobade kunda I never knew that so Gambia doya bata le monya tele hakino to Gambia to because in modo be class like the malo ibita realize that what we na ko in all family and yoma somewhere else about the ko it is too late ndala ma is less than 3 million people alinga hakino to
ini mara bama
president you have to be very 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 careful Mustafa imagine mobile try to treat them equally and fairly along with your legacy it will be seen among the man say abata president Barrow la man say abata because president Barrow say kamuna ay ñireke amanyike panyanu no mabe bolaji comme ngabe fo ya jame wala ni sina bodo abandale ni man kaji wala mo problem ba ni kada bodo abandale ite ta tare ko le ka sa fitoro ila legacy anno mol be ke encourage men ke su men ke dundu ko na ta na beti nyata wala kana e bodo aji ya jame jube ibugala kuma moy say hani APR sin ko fo bugala kuma ala baraka ko drone contribute la je ala baraka
ya ndef lafta fala abarka bake falan sonko ko yetay mota pour kanajang inin tol yenin lungo fanan jura parce que april lungo kole abatale april karomo kare yari bakele gambia banko gambia kono an jama akanale ayeta kundinga ke jannin jangbot is important pour nga ko kacha nga diamudi nga jele ko hani bi abe mol juso kono an ni kacha fango nga jele ko ay tensional men nati fang ay tandi ko hani bi mol nyimbe mol balale mol man heal follow imang heal and Abdou Karim fanang abarka bake with all the connection internet ye time mota ibe daming to kana kanyin call fanan discuss ngalon ko nyimmanke easy thing tika kacha adiamu amang easy amang sonia bari natale ni mol be ngasi nganyin ko kacha ye mol murundi back pour nga reflect katu mol kan nyinale sometimes ni kamera duna mol kasi wrong ye nyina because everything is normal bari important and alto fanata nganyin ko ta nga reflect back mole mur ko he kube kerine amam bande kule keta bari hani bi amam bang mba kono hani bi ufanang are very important and Muhammad abarka bake and coming and kanai fana yela idea share je yela call fanam foje is very important pour mol fanang ye reflect back ngalon ko the foundation all the time because event also tole but it's important pour kana to the other platform can you call for your dad and us went have been in a long relationship and long way and yeah but thank you so much and both all of you thank you for the maturity pour kana ka nyin call for because akadimine ngajele even how everybody is affected by that ndilafta banna daming and Mustafa abarkabake for every time to create this space this platform that we can always come to reflect to do things that are not usually people forget and just let it go so that we reflect on those things. Mafla barka bake and Suleiman Tatale abarka fanang ko watu katara janne bamba mas fanang be katara janne ayadile katara kelola little moflo yalon kewola problem mol bukabang ka fo musol bari kewol fanang la problem mol bukabang so bari lafta mentula Gambia molto ko kol kakele mbe katara daring o nga samba dulato o nga tudulato bari hani Gambian din kili na fata wentola it diminishes our values and also diminish na humanity na hadamaya ka fanan tambulle hani Gambia kilimbe siring abe bataring among healthcare access soto ama fanjarano ama fantopono wentol be ayna values no le diminish nga men share together na humanity na hadamaya ka tambulle. So it's very important for be reflect on this na responsibility them be to look into this and push also the government to take its responsibilities as well, while to be responsibility tala to push them, to hold them accountable for those responsibilities to push ngajele ko hani be there is a lot of work to be done for the victims ngajele. And something really sad, Abdul Karim Yafojane, I mean, we are talking about reparation. By the time everything will finish, maybe there is nobody to pick it up now. That is sad. That is so sad and really, really worrying. You know what I mean? And I hope the president will do something as fast as possible, because we know when he wants to do things, he get them done. That we know, and we've seen it. Thank you so much. Allah barakabake. Allah barakabake.
Much obliged, Nate. Thank you so much. Thanks and appreciation goes to everyone who is anyone on the comment box. Comments, thank you. Siga, Dudu, Alimbara, thank you very much. Budum bedan na janne mbalbe tentulam baljela watu insuni na bedan na janne programo nying na civic education programo kana loku na sipiti wo sipiti la kana kabondi kami 6 or 5 o'clock UK time kana nam for tala woro la usually akana wala budun tandroni gerobe molbe minni alon ko benve ani minni alon ko nyim programo share molbe tentulam be jela wo kam mbe mol hakke dan la coming wato in sunyina la mbe dan nale janne fo sibit nala inshallah come on Skype or radio and TV services na badi malo Mustafa jamme membe sirim program o kunna fo wati ko in fo sibit nala inshallah on mbara